Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KMA Talk Radio, broadcasting live here in lovely West Palm Beach, Florida. Actually, we're in Boynton Beach, Florida. We were in West Palm Beach, Florida earlier today. I am Adam K., the Brewmeister. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Honest Abe.
Good morning.
Afternoon, thank you.
It is afternoon.
It is afternoon.
Good morning.
I know, it is, isn't it? And, of course, Paul, the producer, is here with us.
Hi.
Hi, Paul. And we are now joined by our very special guest, a man we got cut off with earlier, Mr. Riste.
We got the JSK.
Ristevski.
You've practiced since the
Yes,
show.
I've been working on
That's
this.
good.
Thank you. I tried my best.
You notice how it hasn't worked.
I do not have a tongue for languages. What can I say?
Oh.
Yes.
Your cello doesn't fold over. Or
I can't tell you why.
Really?
Why not? Come on.
It's just on these. I just noticed. Interesting.
It's not a fully closed cello.
I have a provisional patent on the whole entire thing. Process.
Really?
Nice.
Ah.
We'll talk a little bit about
We're going
that.
to talk about that. We were talking, before we got cut off this morning.
We got the JSK virus.
Yes.
Shut us down.
We did. He shut the whole show down, broke everything. We had to get an entire new PC unit.
Skip Martin hacked our system.
You know what? Yes. Damn it, yes. It was definitely Skip's fault.
Didn't want Riste to voice his words, so he shut the
Yes.
system down.
So that's definitely what happened. We're going to definitely blame Skip. It's definitely his fault.
I got on Coop's chat one day, and then I think it was somebody said, Babbitt would say Skip Martin, and I got in the video one of Coop's broadcasts late, so I didn't know what it was, but then I answered, that's pretty much a safe bet.
That's a rabbit hole you just fell into. Right?
Right, it's a safe bet, Skip Martin. I mean, it was problematic, it's Skip Martin.
Wow.
Don't be afraid. Feel free to push up a little bit more on the microphone, just a little bit. There you go.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit closer.
Get a little bit closer.
There
You'll
you
be good.
go.
Yeah.
You hear me now?
Yeah. No.
we hear you.
It's just a little soft. I just want to make sure we get a full.
It's a soft, gentle voice today.
Yeah. Very
Kind
much.
of. I've been relaxing. We came to the shop. We smoke cigars. We drink. So it's all good now.
Yeah, we definitely had time to kill, but we managed to get a whole new computer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rebuilt,
Yep.
bought in, reloaded.
Reprogrammed every part of the computer.
Thanks to Brian, the skills of Brian.
Brian Ives.
I don't know where he is.
Brian,
Yes.
very impressive.
Brian Ives. He's watching you.
Wow, what is with you and singing today?
First of all, he's had a couple of drinks.
Is that what it is? So he's going to be very personable today.
Absolutely. I'm here to have a great quality show, to put on some great quality content for our fans out there.
That sounds like at least 4 bourbons.
I have not seen him with a bourbon.
Well, whatever he's drinking beer.
This is the
there's
third.
three beers.
Yeah.
This is a 3-beer Adam.
No,
right here.
this is into the third beer here.
It's a 3-beer Adam.
Yeah, this is the third Brewmeister, which is a 9% by volume, available at any Casa de Monte
three of-
Cristo
Have
or
we ever-
Davidoff Lounge.
3 of his.
Have we ever talked about your beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked
Okay.
about it.
We
Yeah.
had Dave on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tell
That's
him,
his own brew.
Yeah.
Tell Riste.
No, yes, this is the Brewmeister's Personal Reserve. It's an American double IPA.
Don't tell me you're in beer too now, right?
My cousin makes his own beer before Mr. Keck came out. He makes my own beer for my Ristevski every year. I do a stout. I customize everything.
Because I heard he cooks, he barbecues, and he makes his own wine, and now you're into beer too.
No. My cousin. So where I live, pretty much my family and relatives, we bought that property when it went for sale. So
Oh, so you have a compound?
Yeah, yeah.
We got a compound.
It's legit. I smoke meat, so when I got the smoker on, it sends a smoke signal out to my family to know,
Everybody starts showing up.
Shit's about to go down. You know what I'm saying? So
You're into smoking meats as well.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
I tried to get into it a couple of years ago, but the problem I have with it is it's 8 hours of just sitting there, and that's all you're doing. You can't do anything else.
You get a couple
You
cigars.
drink, you smoke, you chill. You
Yeah,
call some friends over.
but the problem is I'm always just so worried about making sure the temp is right and the smoker and everything. And
Set it, forget it, dude.
Wait, you get an electrical?
Yeah, I got a pellet, man.
oh, you got a pellet.
I used to do stick,
Yeah.
but I'll sit up for 8 hours, from midnight till 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. And now I just set the timer, run the pellet, go to sleep. I wake up, it's done.
So you did pellet because I've got the traditional, wood and charcoal.
I used to, but there's nothing better in the world than a fresh brisket at 6 a.m.
Oh, absolutely not. No, definitely not.
Now tell him about your beer. What's your beer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so basically it's a 9% American double IPA based on a recipe I got or I kind of borrowed from another company out of Colorado, per se, that I made with the Sailfish guys. It's a lovely, just basic, very clean, very drinkable. It's got a very, not, overly hazy, but very
looks
nice
good.
quality color.
Would you like
to it.
one?
I was gonna get something else. Maybe
Oh, that's right. You can't have that. You're.
What are you talking about? I
He's
served
keto.
him a beer
I've been
yesterday.
drinking beer since yesterday.
Oh, and you just had sauceless balls?
Yeah, they're the best sausage balls ever.
He just
I
had
said.
sauceless balls. He was worried about the sugar, and you're drinking beer?
I don't want to eat a loaf of bread and drink a loaf of bread.
Okay, fair enough.
What is the diet that you're on?
Literally 90%, 99% what I eat is meat.
Okay.
Like in Vegas, at the house in Vegas, we went through 72.5 pounds.
Oh, so
of
you're
meat.
one of these guys who rented a house in
Yeah.
Vegas. Now, who did you have in this house at the trade show in Vegas?
Me, Casey, my buddy Tom from Kentucky, my buddy Joe from Minnesota, good friend from Indiana. We just went in. I said, listen, 3 things: sell fucking cigars, we eat, drink, have a good time. Die by the pool all day.
Did they work for you? Did they work the booth for you?
Yeah, they worked
Okay.
for me great.
I didn't know they were just coming to tag along and have fun, or they actually worked.
There's no free ride over here.
Ah, you put them to work.
I'll
Good.
pay for some shit, but you got to break stuff down and bring it back up.
Nice, nice. So before we had our little break, we were talking about your history, IT-wise, and working for the government. You're out on your patio, you're smoking a cigar, and you're saying to yourself,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. So you basically got on a flight and went to Nicaragua.
No, it went to Texas.
So yeah, I was at the Underground Cigar Festival.
Well, that's where we're at.
Yes.
That's exactly where we're
Yeah,
at.
that's the exact
Yeah.
point.
That is the exact point we were at.
No,
Yeah.
no red question mark right now. We're good.
No, we're good so
Yeah.
far.
Cool.
Don't jinx it.
So I met a person, Noel Rojas, and I asked him, I want to make my own cigar, this and that. And he straight up told me, he's like, brother, he goes, I have 10 people a day ask the same thing to me. He goes, if you're serious, show up. So literally like 4 months later, after, getting all my paperwork, everything's, legit, I told him, hey, I'll be there Saturday. And he's like, all right, call me when you're at the airport. Got in the car, ran in, he's like, how do I get there? He's like, go 80 miles north. When it forks, take a left. Call me when you're at Polo Chicken at the statue in Esteli. So that's what happened.
Wow.
Oh, wait, a pollo chicken statue in Esteli.
There's a restaurant with the statue where the bus corner's at. So he said, meet me at the statue, and that's where I did.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Red Knight Tour was the first cigar I blended, actually, that day.
Wait, the first day you're in Esteli, you
100%.
blend a cigar.
I still have my bag. I didn't even check into my hostel at the time with a lady from Amsterdam who runs it right by AJ's place. I still have my bags in the car, and he's like, when do you want to start? I was like, listen, I didn't come here for fucking vacation.
I'm ready to work.
I'm ready to work. I'm here 7 days. It's rock and roll. And it was like around midnight that night. I'm like, I love this blend. He goes, give it 3 days.
Try it again.
Smoke it again with coffee. And so literally, we went out, started looking at tobacco the next day. The 3rd day, woke up, smoked it, still loved it. He's like, what do you want to do? Fuck, man, let's start with 5,000 cigars. He goes, you sure? I go, dude, I didn't come here to make 200, 300.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's been like a fucking hockey stick.
How
Just
long
took
ago
off
was
after.
that?
That was, so the cigar released November 29, 2015.
Now, it released. You were selling it directly to consumers.
Correct. Facebook,
How did
Instagram.
How did you let people know? You just through Facebook
I just
groups?
posted in that. I mean, I talk to everyone on Facebook. At this time, I'm collecting, vintage. I'm doing deals back and forth, and people are seeing what I smoke. And
Okay, so you had some kind of a
Yeah.
presence
yeah,
in the cigar world just from being a consumer.
correct, 100%.
Okay.
And like one of the greatest lines a review guy did, he goes, "We've all seen this motherfucker smoke. We've seen what he smokes. He made a cigar. I want to try it." So I mean, when people say what I spend on ads and marketing, I smoked vintage Cubans for like a year. I just enjoyed myself, and and just critiquing stuff and just looking at stuff. And most of the sales that original release went overseas. And so when you're seeing guys, with walk-in humidors the size of their shop, got 100,000, 150,000 cigars in their collection, all vintage stuff, and they're buying the non-Cuban cigar, why is JSK in this guy's humidor?
What was the connection overseas that made it popular overseas right away?
Well, I was buying vintage Davidoffs, I was buying vintage Cubans.
So you were dealing with people overseas?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And email like, hey mate, I see you got your own cigar. I'd like to buy some. Guys in Sweden got 4 guys together, 10 guys together. We all buy a box, ship it 1 box. And so now my presence, as I'm sleeping, I wake up to like 200 messages of people smoking my cigars overseas.
Oh, wow.
And it just kept building and building and building. And it got to the point where they're going to the importer, we want these cigars. So now I have the importers for the countries contacting me. We'd love for you to come out to Dortmund. And so that I went to IPCPR first time, which was all right. But when I went to Dortmund, that was a totally different scale. You're dealing with the guy who's buying all the cigars for the entire country.
Right.
You know, so that put in perspective what I was looking at. And
did you have enough cigars to supply somebody like that?
no, there was plenty of times where, you know, the batch would come in, it would sell out before it lands in my house. Because I was picking up the cargo in Chicago, housing it in my, walk-in my house. You know, and I tell people in the cigar industry, thank you, because those first 2 years, my daughter learned how to count to 15. I got 15 steps to my basement. So, you know, my daughter'd be like, hey, I want to come. So I'm like, all right, there's days where I have to call off work and ship 200 boxes out.
Oh, wow.
And I'd make my daughter count every 15 steps to my walk-in. We'll get the stuff and kind of another 15 back up. So I tell people in the cigar industry from day one, like, thank you, my daughter learned how to count 15. But after 15, it took about a year to tell her 16, 17. I mean, it was a beautiful thing, you know. So, and it just kept going and kept building and kept building. And everything that kept coming in was sold out before I had it. So next shipment was 2-3 months later. You know, I didn't want to bring in cigars that weren't ready. You know, if it's working, why break it?
Right.
So, and then my orders kept doubling, tripling,
And this was, at that time, this was one blend.
this was the Red Knight Toro.
Wow.
And then I went back and I did the Robusto, the Lanzo, and Lancero. And same thing. You know, I'm like, let's just do 5,000 of each. They just kept selling out. And now it's just like, you know, I need to ramp it up because now I got overseas. They were like, I want 300 boxes. I want, you know, 100 boxes here. Let's test order here.
So the interesting question, since you've had this where it's kept just spiraling and just continuing to grow.
Yeah.
And as we saw on the previous part of when we started the show, you said, you know, you're still working for the government in IT.
Yes, 100%.
Do you have a point of where you view you're not going to be able to do that anymore and you're going to have to get out and just focus on this 100%? Or do you have a line of, okay, this is how much I've sold and now I can just do this 100%? Right.
It's not a numbers thing with me. I'm waiting for the FDA, the final decision of the FDA. I could have quit my job 2 years ago.
Right.
But I'm the type of guy in my head, I'm doing 19 years of government IT. For me, that extra 1 year to say I've been doing 20 years, you know, enterprise level IT.
Not to mention the government pension that's coming into your, which is not too
14,
shabby.
14 paid holidays,
Exactly.
you know, pretty much like 4 weeks off.
Yeah,
1 week of sick time.
why give that up? Yeah.
Yeah, and my boss is cool with it. I work 7 to 2. He goes, if you got to travel. I mean, there's been times where I'll call him on a Wednesday, like, listen, I got to go to Texas tomorrow. Bring your laptop. I don't care.
Because you could do your work from anywhere.
Except it's still leave because we had like rolling blackouts. And he called me. He called me one time. He's like, I really need you to sign in. And I was like, listen, we just lost power for 20 minutes. We might get for 5 minutes and might go back. So I really can't work from here. But he totally understands. Like when I go overseas, when I'm in Germany, time difference, I'm working at my hotel room, then hitting the trade show, and then also working from my phone from the trade shows too. So I'm always working. You know, just like yesterday. You know, me and Casey were driving back to the house. And I got a phone call, you know, a printer issue, something simple, but I knew I couldn't walk the guy through it. I'll see
right.
You know, so it's because I do a lot of like outside consultant stuff like that. So
at what point now? At this point, you're still selling directly by yourself. You're doing all the sales. At what point did you make a decision, or how did it come about where you decided to now attack brick and mortar stores and other retailers and stop dealing directly with consumers?
So, I mean, I had shops, big shops, like you as yourself. You know, it was like, you know, I'd love to support you, but you got to go, you know, get offline. But, you know, the money's great. You know, we're both capitalists. Am I wrong?
Right. The margin's great.
The
volume's a lot harder.
Correct.
That's the problem.
I had certain shops like, listen, I'll support you, but, you know, on my website, I can punch in zip codes, and my site would automatically not let you buy because you're from that zip code.
Oh, wow.
So I had agreements with, you know, a shop in Atlanta. I won't ship to no one in downtown Atlanta or in like a 20-mile radius.
Right.
So I had that in a few places, but it got to the point where shops were calling me or the first day of the trade show last year, when I made a comment, I'm going brick and mortar around the world, no more online. One of the first shops walked up to me, opened up his Facebook, showed me the message. He goes, I sent you this in 2015. He goes, are you ready? I go, I'm ready. Open the account. So there was a line already to buy the cigars in shops.
Right.
I mean, I was still hesitant because, you know, the margins were great, but it's probably the best decision I ever made for the company.
For growth. I mean, it just depends.
100%.
It depends where you want to stay at, right? I mean, some guys want to make this amount of money,
and
sell this many, and they're comfortable with it, right?
That's not me.
And if you want to grow, the path to growth.
And that's what I want to do. I love traveling. I love talking to people. I love drinking, smoking. You know, if I was online, I wouldn't be on this table.
You wouldn't have. Well, you might have, but yeah,
maybe
not in the store.
No, not in the store.
Yeah, we've had guys on before that just sell direct to consumers. I mean,
We treat the show really separately from the shop, but we've had guys that either we don't carry their cigars or they're direct sellers. But yeah, on a
J&V Cigars has been here before.
On a retail level, that's one of the things that I kind of say. I mean, you got to pick a lane. Either you want to be, if you're selling directly online, then you're just another retailer. So I mean, it's kind of
the direct consumer was really good because I've created pockets all over the world where I don't spend $1 in advertisement, marketing, nothing. It's word of mouth. I have guys that are smoking my stuff for 2 years from day one, telling their shop, you need to call this guy, you need to bring it in.
Right.
And that's how it went into it. And there was such a presence of build of that. And I told my wife, I was like, listen, online sales are done. I told her you can do another job because she was packing some stuff too.
Right.
And now my wife's like, what am I going to do? I got nothing else to do. So.
Oh, she can ship to the retailers now.
She play with the kids now.
Now, at this point, because we were bouncing around, because you and I talked yesterday, I think I might be bouncing around the evolution here. At this point, when you decide to go brick and mortar, are you still using Noel to produce your cigars?
No.
Okay. So we talked about you going down to Nicaragua. You met this guy. He started making your cigars 5,000 at a time. How long was he making cigars for you before that changed?
It would be a year and that was 2015. So January 1st, 2018 is when I made an announcement on Half Wheel. But the decision was made in my book October 2016 when I was overseas doing Inter-Tobacco.
So it's coming up almost on 2 years that you've been doing it now. So what led to that? Did you know anything about how to run a factory, how to watch it run? Because, well, I mean, listen to me.
I didn't.
It's just like this business, If I could blend cigars, doesn't mean I know how to manage rollers,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And make sure the quality control's right. So, I mean, that's a whole new thing that you probably weren't thinking about or paying attention to.
So I developed a relationship with the guy that was there, the manager who's running the whole thing.
The factory manager.
Yes, but he ended up going to another factory, so he wasn't even working at Noel's when we were talking. And he's like, brother, he goes, I would love to have my own factory one day. And I was like, you know what? If I ever get the opportunity to, I'd love to work with you. Me and you, that's it. And the opportunity came up when I was overseas. Some parts of the story I do not bring up publicly.
Sure.
Because I'm just not that guy.
Right.
But if it gets brought up somewhere else, then I can be that guy.
It was a bad parting of ways. It wasn't a good parting of ways.
It was a bad parting of ways, but we still talked, and it is what it is, and we just parted ways.
And that gentleman that you're talking to, he's your partner in the factory now.
Correct. Roniel.
Okay.
Is his name.
And he handles the operations, the day-to-day operations down at the factory.
It got to the point where I needed someone at that factory every day.
Absolutely.
And Noel was going back and forth like every month, every 2 months, and then went every 3 months. I'm a guy, if I ask a question, I need an answer in 24 hours. I don't care if it's the wrong answer or bad answer. I need to move on this. I need to find a resolution to this question. And so some stuff I was hearing back and forth took a week, which I should have known right away.
Right.
And we just parted ways.
You didn't feel like the priority, so,
100%.
Now you're in control of it.
Yeah, we talked about deconstructing food. I'm not that tobacco guy where, hey, just tell me what's in it.
Right.
I want to go see where it's grown. I want to see the guy who's growing it. I want to see where they're fermenting it. I want to be able to pick my own bales. I want to do this.
Right.
So now I have my own range. I can do what I want, go to any farm I want.
And you buy tobacco on top of you guys roll there, but you buy tobacco.
We buy tobacco.
You're not growing any tobacco.
No. That's a whole.
That's a whole.
Not yet.
Different. No, that's. I tried to actually. So on my mother's side of the family in Macedonia, they used to grow tobacco back in the day.
Really?
And I had this dream. I want to take Cuban tobacco, send it to Macedonia, where they grow some of the best grapes in the world for wine.
Wow.
And I wanted to grow tobacco there, export it out to Nicaragua, and make like the true 100% Macedonian Cuban seed Puro. To me, that would have been like, that's my white whale. Mm-hmm. But now we're talking into corruption. Macedonia's it's rated 110% corrupt. They gave it the extra 10%.
110% corrupt.
110%. So it's a government control. They grow all the tobacco for Philip Morris, all the Turkish tobacco
right.
there.
Right.
And they pretty much looked at me and was like, get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Plain and simple. That's how it happened. So that got killed, but it might change in 15 years.
You can still have a dream.
Well,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
There. Very few people at your level have their own factory. It's not really common. It's not a common step, especially this early in the game for you. Because when I first heard that you had your own factory, I can't remember who I was talking to. Maybe I was talking to Casey. I was like, well, does he have really his own factory, or does he have like the Rocky Patel early days factory where they just took the sign and
when they're rolling his cigars.
Well, Rocky's stuff was early. I mean, Rocky has his own factories now. But early on in the day, he was the Plasencia factory, and basically when he bring a tour to town, they take the Plasencia sign down and put the Rocky up. So like, does he have his own factory like that? Or He's like, no, he's got his own factory, and he's got a partner down there.
So how often are you in Nicaragua?
So I have a trip to go in October. I was supposed to go 2 days before all this shit happened last year.
Okay.
My flight was supposed to be April 19th. The shit hit the fan around the 18th. I called United. I was like, listen, like, I'm not going. The guy I work with down there is telling me, do not come. They're like, fuck you, we're not going to refund your money.
Really?
The 20th is when the government made it like,
do not go.
Do not go.
Yeah.
And that's when I got my money back from United.
Right.
Because I was telling them, like, this is before it broke the news here in the States.
Right.
And when the government classified it, like this scheduled travelers don't go.
No-go
That's
zone.
when, they called me back and was like, we understand, so.
We got you. Here,
Yeah.
Please accept this refund.
So
we
I plan on
apologize.
going back in October.
Now, how many pairs do you have?
12.
You have 12 pairs.
12 couples.
So, and how many cigars are you guys producing?
Max capacity, we can do about 40,000 a month.
Are you operating at that capacity, or are you still working up toward it?
We're getting to the point where we're going to surpass it, so we're actually looking at a bigger spot.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And that's strictly just producing your line of products now.
Correct.
Now, what is that, Abe, in the scheme of
small.
factories? Like, what is that?
It's a lot for a small guy,
Right.
but it's extremely small.
Right.
I mean,
in the realms of factory. I mean, I love in this industry how a lot of times they a lot of people call themselves boutique cigar manufacturers, like Drew Estate did for years. I love that.
Millions of sticks.
Right.
Even though they always try to classify themselves as Acid's the number 2 selling cigar in the
Right,
entire world.
right. No, this is a legitimate boutique size business.
Well,
without doubt.
one of his sayings, and
boutique as fuck.
So yeah, exactly.
Boutique as
Boutique
fuck.
as fuck.
Yeah.
His social following is huge, obviously, as we've found
It's all right.
today. And
It's all right.
So
And
that's
it broke the computer,
Yeah, he crashed the computer.
Yeah, basically.
How's
Thanks
that?
for
An IT guy breaks the fucking. You ever see a chiropractor with a bad back?
I'm going to steal that one. That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
That's true.
So this year at the IPCPR, you are actually there was a lot of news about you before the show even started.
Never heard of it.
So
I was going to work up to that in lines, but go ahead.
well,
Go
no.
ahead.
Well, so this was your third IPCPR or 4th? Third. Okay.
I went to one, I skipped one, and then went to the last two.
Okay.
Okay.
The second one, because that's the year FDA came out.
Yep.
So listen, I got some feed over in Europe. Let me go ground and pound Europe for a good year, and if it's still feasible in the U.S., depending on the FDA, I'll go back to the show.
Okay.
So.
And this year, when you went to the IPCPR, how many blends did you come with?
So I had nugs, but I couldn't display it.
Right.
Well, so
bullshit.
we're getting to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting
so
into that.
I had all the red knights, my new tyrannical line, four sizes in each blend.
Which is a Connecticut. I smoked one earlier, and I'm not a big Connecticut guy. There are Connecticut cigars I like, but I never get handed
slim margin.
and I get handed a Connecticut cigar, and my initial reaction is, oh, great, right? I actually enjoy that cigar a lot. I've smoked 3 of them now.
It's delicious.
It's actually a really good
Power,
Connecticut.
strength.
Yeah,
but it's balanced.
It doesn't have the typical initial bitter, metallic.
Barnyard grass.
Yeah, the instant you put it on your lips, even
Most guys are like, let me go make that cohiba out of Nicaragua.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm a biter. I don't
Yeah.
I don't cut my cigars. I bite all my caps off.
Savage.
So one less thing I got to carry.
True.
So
I think I lost 3 cutters since yesterday.
yeah. So I'm a biter. So I never enjoyed biting a Connecticut cigar because you get that taste right away, right? But that didn't have it.
Yeah, my very first Connecticut was Zlatno Sonce, and white band, gold, and I was developing it.
Is it still in production?
So it will come back
Because
in
you're talking
production.
about it like it's in the past.
That was with Noel.
Oh, got it.
But see, I blended everything, so I know my own blends. I know what tobacco, what fincas to go to, and everything.
Right. You were involved enough.
100%, down to the personal hand level.
Right.
So that cigar will go back in production end of this year. I want to bring it back at the show, but that was my first, because I hate Connecticut's too.
Hate's a strong word. I'm just not a fan of most of them.
They bore me.
Well,
But the problem is you
it's
have to
funny.
have them.
It's fun.
You
Well,
have to have it
100%.
for the consumer.
I have the perfect analogy for Connecticut cigars, right? I call them the sweet and sour chicken of Chinese food.
Like that analogy.
Right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever walks out and says, man, I just had the best sweet and sour.
It's the same.
It's the same, but it's the number one probably dish ordered in every Chinese restaurant in the country.
It's the king of
but
golf
no one
courses.
gets excited over sweet and sour chicken,
No.
right? So that's how I always look at
Oh, if
Connecticut
it's like
cigars.
a General Tao or something like that. Extra,
Right,
that's
you
a
know,
different story.
little orange beef, something a little different,
Get
you
a little
know,
change of pace going on.
for happiness, whatever.
100%.
But yeah, I mean that's how I look at Connecticut. I like it, and the name is interesting. How did you come up with the name?
So Zlatno Sunce means golden sun.
No, I'm a tyrannical buck.
Tyrannical buck is my spin on something completely what I normally do. So, I mean, people were saying, like, I created a Cernanak, which released the same time as Zlatno Sunce. So what I did with those two releases, I created a Maduro that was almost like the medium, a ton of flavor. Because I wanted to trick the consumer. Consumers always think, you know, dark means strong.
Right.
Light means weak.
That's a common misnomer.
Yeah, so if you're at that time you're grabbing my Connecticut, it would kick you in the dick. It's a powerhouse.
Right.
And Maduro was a lighthouse. And Tyrannical Buck came up is, I got, how do I say this without talking shit to people? I got tired of people like producing power with no flavor. So I want to create a powerful cigar with a ton of flavor, balanced. People think I'm an asshole online until they meet me. I mean, people, tyrannical. So people call me Buck before.
Oh, yeah. He
So it's
called you
kinda
Buck.
like-
I heard you called Buck earlier.
Yeah,
Well,
so kind of-
he said that was his Facebook name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
It's kind of like a resurrection of me losing the Buck on Facebook, come back with the dinosaur with the crown on,
Got
tyrannical
it.
Buck. Like I'm back in this blend. So
Interesting. Let's see here. This is the
Red Knight Robusto.
first line you'd made.
Yeah, Red Knights.
Get a picture of that on there.
Get that out there. Oh, yes.
Now,
Now, where did
go
the
ahead.
artwork come from? Because you got a
Right.
couple of lines on
I
there.
want to take
It's
this
a
cello to
big-
really.
So
Which
the
other
artwork,
band?
I was in a cigar
I-
group.
It's a very interesting, like very almost Harry Potter-esque logo, I have to say.
You know what? I
It's
mean,
very gold.
now that you
Yeah.
say it, it is very here. I mean, I would have
Well,
thought it, but
I was just watching Fantastic Beasts and the
Is that
Crimes
what
of
it is?
Grindelwald last night, so it kind of just got onto that
Yeah.
in the same kind of a vein. And it does definitely seem
And
right
it's,
on there.
And it seems it's classic, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's got a
timeless
regal.
looking.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Very regal, very
Vintage,
English,
kind of
yeah,
modern, regal
yeah.
look.
And this is a great story because so tell us how you found the graphic designer that you work with.
So we're in a Facebook group together, and Nuzul he works for a pharmaceutical company, he does all the media artwork out of Singapore, and he loves cigars. And we're in the same chat. We're talking about, hey, I think I might make my own cigar. He's like, I'd love to make my first cigar band. You know, this guy is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I'm looking for. I want like the vintage, old style kind of Cuban look with the modern European look to it. Yasim Crown. And so I told him. And that was the first prototype he sent me.
when you told him the name, was he like, what?
Pretty much.
How much
I get it all the time. So that's
pushback you got in the name? Get that later.
yeah. So that's how like JSK stemmed, because people couldn't say Yasim Krau, so they just called it JSK, and they kept calling it Red Knight because, you know, Yasim Krau means I am king. So people were saying, you know, it's kind of like, you know, King's Arthur, the Round Table,
Right.
Which I kind of thought at one point I was gonna do like kind of a nice Cuban style humidor with all my blends. You know what I'm saying? Really nice, carved up, you know, done right.
And then you saw the production value, production cost, and what that was going to run, and said, "Oh no."
State-wise, yeah, but when I was overseas in Dortmund, like when you're actually speaking to the manufacturer from China or
Yeah.
Vietnam or whatever,
Yeah.
but that's when I started like parting ways with Noel. I knew I wasn't going to be here, so I kind of started restructuring things. I stopped making the Zlatno. I stopped making the Zlatno Sunce. I stopped making the Cernanak. I stopped Rudy's blend I did with Rudy's Cigar Shop in Fort Wayne. You know, local Indiana guys. They call me. They're like,
Fort Wayne.
you're an Indiana guy. We're an Indiana shop. We sell Indiana wine, Indiana beer. We want to sell Indiana cigars.
Huh.
So I was
Oh,
like,
that's
you know,
cool.
yeah, I'll swing by. But that's when I started transitioning to a new factory. I was like, listen, I'm going to revive the Red Knight, because there's that stigma. If you leave a factory, the cigar's not going to change the same, or it's not going to taste the same. First review at the show came out when they decided brick and mortar. They did a side-by-side test, both cigars, and completely identical. So that is when people knew I was serious. You know, if I can recreate my blend somewhere else. Because most people, they don't know the true blend. You know, you're in someone's pocket. Why would they let you out?
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
Absolutely.
In theory, the way it would normally work with somebody that has a brand that they're not necessarily making in their own factory, they get a couple of samples from a manufacturer. They maybe say, I want a little bit more of this, a little bit more
No,
of
that's
that.
kind of like how I do it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, a lot of people do go down, get more involved in their blend. I'm not a blender. I couldn't tell you what this leaf, and I never make myself out to be.
But you do know what you like.
I know I know what certain leaves might do to a taste, but that's not blending, right?
Right.
I know if I salt a steak, it's going to taste salty, right? Doesn't mean I know how to, concoct a whole meal. So I never make myself out to be. I know there are guys out there who, do,
Right.
and whatever, but that's not my stick. So when I've done projects, that's what I've done. I've kind of went to a guy like Riste, would tell him, look, this is what I'm looking for, kind of flavor profile, this range, maybe spicy, maybe not spicy. I would get sticks, we'd smoke a bunch. Sometimes one of the bunch would be a hit off the bat. We love this one.
Right.
Sometimes it wouldn't, but that'd be the one we liked the most, but it needs something a little bit more. And
You
we'd
need
go
to
back.
tweak it like-
Yeah, we'd go back to a
Oh,
round
yeah.
2, a round 3. I don't think we've ever gotten more than 4 times before we found something we like.
Okay.
Sometimes it's usually just first or second round, a little tweak here and there, but not everybody blends, and some people like to think they're blenders, but it's not. It's
I gotta imagine that
a real art
it's
form.
kind of exactly. It's
a
kind
real
of like
art
a
form.
gift. Like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's being able to understand the nuances of flavors. Like Riste was saying earlier, somebody mentioned him because he cooks food and he understands food.
And he makes his own wine.
And he deconstructs
And he makes his own
food.
moonshine,
Yes.
which I want to get into too. Still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk. We can.
So,
Yeah.
so he already has the skill sets in basically kind of other aspects that require the same, skill.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
So back
Wait.
to the whole moonshine. Can I get there?
No, let's
Off topic.
Let's go. Let's stay
Off
with the
topic.
topic.
Off topic.
Yeah.
Aw.
Let's stay with the topic.
We got a lot of time.
We're gonna get to that, but I want
all
to talk.
right.
Stay on the cigar talk because
He wants to get to this. This is what he's working at.
I do because this has been a huge story for everybody. It's actually a big reason why we reconnected because you were in the news and we saw you. So
Got banned from the trade show floor.
so what we are all smoking right now is it Nugs?
Yes.
Okay,
100%.
it's not. It's plural. Nugs.
Nugs.
Okay.
NUGGS.
So that's what we're all smoking
Patent
now.
pending.
And,
crap! I was about to ask.
You're slow, man. You had one too many beers over there.
and correct me if
I'm
I
building up to it. I was letting you feed. Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, Riste, but this is the first CBD infused cigar on the market in the United States. Is that correct? Or it's one of the first?
This is the first CBD enhanced cigars. We really don't infuse them.
Okay,
Okay.
great, because that's what we want to get to.
Okay.
So-
It's enhanced.
Right.
Yes.
So
Interesting.
Go ahead and tell us
there
what
are
that
other
means.
people that tried this, and if you try those cigars, I'm not knocking anyone. I congratulate creativity. But on those cigars, it tastes like cardboard. It tastes like sponge. They just take the oil and spray the tobacco with it.
Okay.
It tastes like shit, like cherry bullshit.
Well, I'm going to tell you, because this is my second one I've smoked. I smoked one yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, when I first, I'm not going to lie to you, because I don't do that.
He is on a tape.
But when I heard about this whole project, I'm like, I'm never bringing that cigar in. I mean, I literally said that to myself.
Just like every other retailer.
I just won't bring this cigar in. I just wasn't.
What are we going to do with that?
It just seemed too gimmicky. But I'm going to tell you something. I when I do smoke it, I do taste something that's non-tobacco, right?
But what percentage? Like
No,
1, 2?
but it's not an
nothing crazy?
overbearing
Yeah.
taste, right? I could just tell there's something in it, but
It's also
it's
not a bad taste.
It's not
Correct.
a bad taste. It's not a chemical. It's not
Correct.
I'm not getting any adverse flavors, but it's something distinctive that I could tell that I've not tasted when smoking cigars,
Correct.
right? Because at this point in my life, 20-some years of smoking cigars, I've kind of got the gamut of flavors,
It's the exact same conversation I had with the Mick the other night because I was like, am I ever going to get wowed again by a cigar? Because after this point in time, do you ever think you're going to be wowed again by a cigar?
You know how you wow yourself again?
Yeah.
Smoke a lot of bad cigars for a long period of time.
Yeah, okay.
Readjust
That's-
your
That's what
palate.
happens because you keep smoking a lot of the same stuff all the time that you like all the time. Because when I go back and try something that I used to enjoy,
totally
that I haven't
changes.
smoked in a long time, I get wowed. I'm like, wow, why did I stop smoking this cigar?
You know what
This
does
is a
that
good
for me?
cigar.
Like the 2010, 2012, my father Limitadas they released.
Right.
Those are some of my favorite cigars.
So, when you try one again, you're
Yeah.
like, holy cow. So it does happen, but not if you're always going to smoke stuff you like. But,
Right.
But this is something that not only that now I would bring in, I did bring in, and we are bringing into our stores. And but I'm not a big into the THC, CBD culture and all that. So what exactly is the whole hoopla of CBD right now?
CBD is so.
I,
Your
mean,
body.
I think the last time I saw this much buzz about something was Viagra.
Well,
seriously.
I feel like we need to back up just slightly.
Well, back up.
Okay. What made you want to create a CBD cigar?
Because of the hype.
No.
No.
Ah, see, there you go.
100% wrong.
Okay, well there you go.
So
All right.
at this moment, I'm taking CBD. I'm selling CBD wholesale. I have
Okay.
I have my own. HoosierCBD.com is me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
the first registered CBD company in the state of Indiana. To the point where they thought I knew inside information. I just spent $700 to trademark and everything because I heard it might get legal.
Right.
Right.
I just
Right.
beat everyone to it.
Yeah.
It's $700, whatever. It paid off. So I have my own retail. I'm doing CBD. I have a lot of people in the cigar industry that want to try CBD, and they're going through me because I'm a straight dude. I talk to you 100% straight. I'm legit. I tell them, you're not going to fail a drug test. All my stuff's third-party lab tested. I disc golf a lot.
Oh, really?
You what?
Disc
Oh,
golf.
he's a disc golfer.
No, like I don't like disc golf, but I will do it for my friends, or huge disc golfers. Yes.
So I normally
Yeah.
take my CBD and I'll smoke a cigar while I'm disc golfing. And
Yeah.
we're disc golfing one day. I forgot my CBD. My buddy,
Now, why do you take it?
joints, helps me sleep.
Is that the claim? Is that what they say CBD does? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why is
CBD
everybody on the CBD, right
CBD,
now? I see it everywhere I go. There's something CBD.
It helps you sleep too. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
I mean, is that your personal thing, or is that a medical fact?
So I don't know if it's medically proven, but I know the reason why I have taken it in the past was because I work with a marketing company that markets CBD oils
Yeah.
as well, and a couple of our clients have sent us samples, and all the guys I work with take it. They all have insomnia because we're in the advertising
Yeah.
world.
You guys
It
are
never.
up
It's
there.
like cigars. It never turns off.
about to say,
Your
welcome
life
to
is
cigars.
constant. Yeah. So it is. It's just like mellows you. It doesn't. It's not a high. It's nothing like that.
I
It's
didn't
like
expect to be high. I'm just saying, is anything that is any of the positive effects of CBD, is it medically proven yet, or is it like the vitamin world where it's all just kind of still?
They will not medically prove it until the government has control of it. Until they can make their money on it, they will
Okay.
not.
correct.
Like, it is against the law for me to state it will cure something.
Right.
Right.
If I do that, I get shut down.
Because it's not FDA.
It's not FDA approved. And once it's FDA approved and they set the regulations and everything, how they're trying to do with us and cigars, then the test will come out, the scientific studies, so they can make, their
Now,
percentage on it.
this is the inside of the lid of the box.
Correct.
Let me get that on there.
Yeah, you have some data on the inside of the lid of the box. What exactly is this?
So that data is specific to the Farm Bill. If you want to sell CBD, you have to meet certain packaging requirements. And just like on the bottom of the box or on the band, you have a QR code. If you scan that QR code, the CBD that's used in the cigar will take you to third-party lab results outside of the company I work with to verify what you're claiming is in this product. So that QR code isn't for the state of Indiana. I went to the Capitol. I sat down. When they wrote the packaging bill, I knew what was coming. And now talking to the lab in Colorado, I'm like, this cigar was supposed to come out in February. But after seeing the QR code, I spent another 2 months developing that, do it right. The guy in Colorado was like, they're going to push that across all 50 states. So instead of just making cigars for state of Indiana with the QR code and then sending the rest of the other states, I just
Did it for everybody.
across the line.
Right.
And now I have a licensing deal with another cigar company that wants me to infuse their flavors.
So
Now, infuse or enhance?
Enhanced.
Enhance.
They want to call it infused, but
They wanna
someone
call it-
else owns a trademark that I will not use that on the packaging.
Got it.
So can you tell us anything about the process? You don't do it
Yeah.
at the factory, correct?
I can't tell you the process when it leaves the factory because I have a patent on how it's packed, how it's delivered,
Okay.
how
okay.
it arrives at the.
Because even the cello is something interesting. I'm going to get a close up
That's
here.
on the patent as well.
I've never seen a cello where the bottom's cut like that and not folded over.
I honestly thought that Casey did it for me when he handed me the cigar just to make it easier to pop it out.
So
But that's part of the
that's
part
part
of
of
the
the
whole thing.
patent because
I guess it needs to breathe.
no, it's the very first batch of 2000 I did. Were in bundles with the cello folded over. So now when you have three laboratory scientists working on this
They
at
couldn't get it out.
At $150 an hour of labor, those 2,000 cigars literally cost me $2,000 in labor because it took 3 days.
Just to
With
unsell
the
it.
packaging, I mean, we sat down. I'm like, listen, we're all smart fucking guys here. I do tobacco, you guys do CBD. We need to figure out how I can get these next batch to you to effectively enhance them. And we sat down, figured it out, mapped the whole thing out. So what it took me to do 2,000 cigars in 2 days, I can literally do about 20,000 cigars in one 8-hour shift. So it cut back on $150 per hour per person.
Yeah.
Just drastically. Yeah, so That's why it's like that, because
And that's the savings, ladies and gentlemen.
because if
Right.
another company does try to do this, I've gone down so many roads where I knew where the faults were at.
Yeah, you've
Right.
done the trial and error now.
2 years I spent on just that cigar before the blend came to the U.S. You know, just to how to figure out to do all this.
So now this year at the IPCPR, I know Coop talked about it. The Dojo guys talked about it. I guess a while before the IPCPR, they said
12 days.
that no CP, no
12 fucking
CBD.
days.
It was 12 days,
I already got my hotel, I got all my shit, I got my signs going there, logistics already paid for. In 12 fucking days, you tell me I can't.
and they said no CBD products at all. What
But
was their reasoning? Was it the SANS itself
It's the
that
Sands
wouldn't allow
Gaming
it?
Commission. It involves with the licensing, you can't have it. But on the third day, a guy came up to me, he's like, there's another brand who has their CBD package.
No.
Because I have guys, like, you know, we'll just say, like, hey, come to the booth. And I can't show you anything. I can't show you the box. I can't show you, you know.
Couldn't show me anything.
Nothing. Nothing at all. But this other guy, on the third day, didn't give a shit what he did.
Huh.
So I was pissed off. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? So that pissed me off even more to, like, I can't even talk about that at that point. So it's just, I got singled out, but it was a blessing in disguise.
You got a lot of coverage.
Oh, all day.
You got a lot of coverage
My
off
phone
there.
was blowing up all day. At first, I created this minimum. You had to bring in at least two reds, both toothpicks to qualify for nugs. Shops were like, I don't want nothing else but nugs. All right, how many you want to order? This much. All right, fuck the qualification. Run
Yes,
and gun,
sir.
man. Run and gun.
Let's just start writing orders.
So I
Let's make
told
some
the guys
money.
at the booth, sell. If they want just one box of nugs, give it to them. Qualification's over. Just sell.
This is one of my biggest complaints in this industry, because I'm not in the disappointment business. That's my slogan,
Yeah.
right? I'm in the making people happy business, right?
I literally heard you say that the other day on the phone during our meeting.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not in the disappointment business. Don't, Skip Martin, once again, go to my go-to guy for an analogy. Makes a post. I'm out of this. I'm sold out of this. This is gone in an hour. This is gone in 30 seconds. As soon as we can make this is gone. Well, great. Thanks for telling me you got nothing to sell me now. You have nothing to sell because everything you got is gone. I love him. God bless him in his business.
Great guy.
But for me, for what I do for a living and for how I feed my children,
That model
that
doesn't
model
work.
does not work for me.
Nope.
I don't want even when like Drew Estate makes these 4 boxes or something. I tell them keep it. All you're doing is
would waste
causing
my
me
time?
right. You're causing me grief because I'm going to have 100 guys calling, right?
All
Say-
these stores, and you got 4 boxes.
Especially when they go on the Facebook Live and they pick your name in the hat to say, "Oh, you've been one of the lucky 15 that's going to get 4 boxes." My phone would have rang off the hook, and what am I going to do with 40 cigars, right? On top of my
And if you
clientele
don't
base.
sell it to them, they're like, oh, the asshole wouldn't
That's
sell
what I'm
them to me
saying. So
because
all of a sudden
you
now I'm a
sold to
bad
friend
guy,
only,
right?
You know what
I'm a
I'm saying? You're
bad
the
guy.
guy.
So I'm not in that business. So yeah, I'm from that mentality, man. Sell.
Yeah, sell.
Stuff. I got guys all the time. I had one guy come into my shop, wanted to buy a picture of I had a golden retriever with a cigar in her mouth.
That's pretty cool.
Right? With sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to buy that. Like, did you sell it to him? It's like, no, sell it to him. I can take another picture of my dog. Are you kidding me?
Get better glasses this time.
Sell it to him. True story, I had this one guy, a guy from Atlanta.
Well, I know exactly what this
The
is.
Atlanta one?
Yeah.
I had this one guy from Atlanta who, these 2 businessmen, very affluent businessmen, would fly in and come to my shop on a regular basis. And I had the light boxes. I had light boxes in my old stores. It was my second location. And there was an Oliva Series G light box.
Okay.
Right? And they had already changed the packaging. And this was an old light box, right? But because I didn't, thank you, sir. That's a Bloody Mary. I got to get that on camera.
Hey, Matt.
So-
Concoction.
So this light box is hanging on my wall, and I had them all wired in. Let's just get a shot of that.
Oh, the big
Hello.
delicious.
The
Big
big,
Delicious.
delicious Bloody Mary. Look at that. So, but I used to hardwire them in.
Yeah.
So we would literally cut the cord, hardwire it in, so we didn't have to turn them on and off all the time, right? So at night, all the light boxes would be on, and it looked nice at night when you were closed.
Yeah.
So this guy said, "Oh, I love that. That's my colors. I want that light box. I'll buy that from you." If I could have taken it down and give it to him, I would have. But I'm like, dude, this is old. I'll just call the company. I'll get a brand new one shipped to you. You don't have to buy it from me. I'll give it to you for free. And he kept telling me, look, I really want to buy that. And I was trying to be nice to him. He's a good customer.
you're
I'm
trying to
like,
help
look,
him out.
I'm going to get you a brand new one in the box for free. I promise. I'm not trying to shuffle you off. And he let it go. And then an hour later, he goes, listen, I'll pay you $1,500 for that box. I was like,
Done deal.
shipping's on me.
Done deal. Take
We
it.
took that sucker down. Guys got on land, unhooked it, bagged it up. He took it out the door.
Dude, I-
Sorry, he wanted to buy it. What more can I do for the guy? It's a true story.
Off a cigar story subject here. I like old lawnmowers. I bought this old John Deere from like the 70s, made out of pure fucking steel. Redone it, new motor, new deck, everything, right? I'm sitting out cutting my grass. Got 3 acres, I'm cutting my grass. Guy drives by, pulls in my driveway. He goes, "You want to sell that thing?" I go, "What, the mower?" And he's like, I'm like, "Nah, it's not for sale." He goes, $2,500? I go, "Bring the trailer in 15 minutes when I cut my grass." Come
man.
pick it up. Let me cut my grass
It's
first.
for sale. I mean, everything's for sale.
Why old mowers? What is the
Quality.
allure?
Quality.
Got
All
it.
right.
Made out of steel. You buy the shit from Home Depot or something, you're buying a new one in 2 years.
All right. That's not. I
I
don't
like
disagree.
quality.
You don't have enough yard yet, Paul.
I don't.
I know.
I don't own a mower. I mean,
Yeah, I won't pay someone to come. I'm super like particular in certain things, how my grass is cut, everything.
I'm particular, but I won't do it.
It gives me a chance to finally relax from the road, hang out with the
I
kids.
made a deal when I got married with my wife. I said these are the 4 corners. Off topic.
Nope.
no, this is
Okay.
fine. We're talking about lawnmowers.
I said these are the 4 corners of our home,
Yeah.
right? I said I will take care of everything in the universe outside these 4 corners, but I don't want to change a light bulb when I come home. And I don't care if you pay somebody to do it. I just don't
wanna
want.
do
I
it.
don't want to be bothered with it.
Yeah.
When I come home from work, I'm not cutting the lawn. I mean, you can hire landscapers, you can hire construction guys. I don't care. I'm not going to be the honey.
Don't ask me.
I'm not coming home to a honey-do list after working all day. It's not happening. And it's been a pretty good arrangement.
I wish you would have given me that information before.
You didn't ask.
I did.
I would have just told you not to get married.
You did actually tell me
My son
not
loves
to get married.
My son loves going on the
Your
tractor
wife would have
with me.
said, "Get the hell out."
Yeah, that's true.
After she beat you down.
Yes.
After she gave you a beat down of your life.
She would have beat you with oranges so there were no bruises.
Right?
Dictionaries
Yes.
and a pillowcase.
So I want to show the Buck cigar. We talked about it, and this is one of the bigger ones. I've been smoking the little bugger all week.
You can smoke that after steaks. That's what we did in Vegas.
Now that cigar I have seen a lot on
Yeah.
social media, and I actually did not know that was your cigar.
Yes.
I've
sick,
seen
yeah.
that label.
Yep.
So the label's getting redone. This was just like, I had a bunch of labels to get them out, but I'm redesigning. It's going to be the same, but it's going to be polished.
Okay.
So kind of follow the skew of like the high-end looking bands and everything else I do.
And and we should get back to that because so your guy is from Singapore. You wanted it to look old school, almost empirical, or
Yeah.
and
With like
it,
a European kind of like modern look to it also.
and it does that. So this is the label for the nugs, which we were all smoking. Let me ask you a question, and this is just a novice that doesn't know enough about it. If I were to smoke 2 of these in a row, does it enhance the effect of the CBD? Does anything change for me if I just smoke 2 or 3 of these cigars in a row?
You would get 40 milligrams of CBD. You'd feel it a lot more. So
Okay.
Now this is a 20 milligram. Now you are working on a 100 milligram, yeah?
yes, the 100 will be out around the 3rd or 4th week of August.
So 100 would be 5 times the amount that's in this
5
one.
times the CBD, twice the price only.
Can you?
Now, only twice the price. Now,
I like it because the way he said it doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah.
5 times the amount. It's only double the price.
He's a
It's brilliant.
businessman.
now when we're
Brilliant.
talking price point, what does that actually mean? The price point's going to be at?
So
I think it's
if
$24
24
retail.
for $24 on the shelf. So if you bought another brand CBD cigar we talked about, they're $25, but you're only getting 5 milligrams of CBD.
really? Wow.
I'm giving you one for $24 and giving you 100 milligrams of CBD. And I'm able to do that because with my connections in the CBD world and working on that side since 2015. So a cool story about this band, I'll tell you. So the end of this band, the first designer got rejected by the trademark because it had an old Macedonian flag on the end.
Really?
So
What-
I couldn't trademark a country's flag. And I was
Right.
reading, so I called
You
them
could have
back.
used it,
I could have used it,
but not trademark it. Okay.
exactly. The end of this band, if you see the texture, if you see like little like pelt texture, there's a picture of my daughter wearing a very
Oh, yeah, I
old
do.
school traditional village wedding outfit, and it's the pelt from that wedding outfit's on
Yeah,
that
I
band.
do.
So
I
I try
see
to
it.
incorporate a lot of like family things in the stuff I do. So like me looking at that reminds me of my daughter. If I'm ever traveling and I see that band, it just reminds me of that picture of my daughter.
Now your cigars are produced and then bought into the country and warehouse where?
In Texas with Andrew, Tobacco's Mundial.
Got it. So
Great guy.
he
No
does all the
issues.
shipping.
Yeah, and
handles
it was funny
distribution
because
for
when
you.
I was direct to consumer, he was telling me, man, you got to be in a warehouse for 2 years. I was like, no, leave me the fuck alone. I ain't doing that. I don't want to pay you this much for that. I'm doing it
Right.
myself. But when I went to brick and mortar, I said, let me put the system in place where retailers are not depending on me around my schedule to ship. Let me get something implemented in
Right.
place, something that's running, 24/7.
I just went through that with a guy named Juan Can't Ship. You know him?
Juan's a great guy.
Juan Can't Ship. That's his new name. That's my new
Can't
name
Ship.
for Juan Can't Sell. Juan Can't Ship.
Juan can't ship. That's awesome. Yeah,
I hope somebody tells him I said that on the air.
I'm sure he's probably watching.
I'm sure he's watching. He's always watching.
Yeah, great guy.
Very good guy. He just can't ship.
Just get chip.
Give him an order 3 weeks later. It's in limbo somewhere.
Well, you figured out who you need to speak to.
Yeah, you need to talk to Bill Ives. You really want to do any business, talk to Bill Ives.
Call Bill Ives.
You want old fashions? You call Juan Can't
You
Sell.
want to have a good time? Talk to Juan.
Yeah,
you want to
that's
get product? Talk
right.
to Bill.
Right. You know, it's
Just the best.
Bill's the pimp and Juan's the prostitute, right? You want a good time? You want to do business? You talk to the pimp.
Yeah. Talk
So-
to the pimp.
I don't know what to say. That might have been a bad analogy. I don't know.
You said it, not me.
And now I got Bloody Marys and CBD going on at the same time.
You're living life, man.
So,
Have a good time.
right.
All right.
So what's the next step? What's in the future in the next couple of years?
Other than getting a
JSK?
100 milligram CBD cigar on the market in 4 or 5 weeks.
And is 100 milligrams a lot, by the way?
I don't know. I don't
wouldn't
know how
even
to correlate it.
It is quite a bit.
So somebody that
But so like the 100 milligram is going to have, it's a cigar you don't want to smoke in the morning. That
Okay.
cigar is something after you come home, your last cigar of the day.
You want chill.
right
you
after
wanna
dinner
chill.
or okay.
You know what I'm saying? The 20 is good for any time, all day, every day.
Okay.
24/7. The 100, consider it like an AM and PM NyQuil.
Okay. Okay.
That's a good
What an analogy.
Yeah.
What an analogy.
This is the analogy show of KMA Talk Radio.
Right?
Sure, yeah.
So what about a guy that has never taken CBD before?
20 milligrams perfect for you.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
He has 2 of them. It's
Especially
still
you.
gonna be okay.
Especially you if you're talking about yourself because you're a wuss.
Well, I've had it. Before,
You are a
but
wuss.
it's not a regular thing for me. But I feel great after smoking that. It was a
Yeah.
great cigar, and I
smoke 3-4 a day.
I feel chill.
Right.
You gonna smoke one at night now every night when you go to bed?
And maybe I don't know if my wife will let me.
You can buy me a smoke in.
She won't let you because it's CBD, or she won't let you because it's a cigar.
I don't want to talk about this. Why do you always get into
Well, you
stuff
never
that
know.
I don't want to talk
Because
about?
because I'm like Riste, I always get in there and very interested with things I don't understand, and I don't understand pansiness.
Break it down, you find
So
the
you're
process.
my reference on what a weak man is. So I need to analyze you to learn what a weak man is, right? So seriously, it means because it's a cigar or because it's CBD.
It's because it's a cigar.
So because if you smoke a cigar at night, then you have to do a complete shower, toothbrush, everything before she would get near you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I just want to be clear.
But I happen to still sleep in the same bed as my wife, which is something that you said after 5-10 years won't happen anymore. So maybe
that's
that will
fine.
change in my life.
No,
Just a
but
weekend part,
that's
or-
because I don't.
You said you believe that 60% of people that have been married for more than 10 years don't sleep in the same bed. That's what you said on the air. I can pull the clip. You wanted to do a poll.
I'm not denying it. I'm
Okay.
saying that I don't sleep in the same bed regularly with my wife by my choice. You know, I have a whole ritual that doesn't work and jive with the way she goes to bed, so I'm perfectly comfortable passing out in the living room.
I mean, but basically then you just have a roommate and not really a wife.
Why?
I don't know. It's
Sleeping next to somebody constitutes the marriage?
It's part of it. Yeah, that's
Listen,
part of being married.
I don't spoon. I don't like body heat. I don't like being up on somebody when I'm sleeping. I'm perfectly content sleeping by myself.
Where does the dog sleep?
In fact, I prefer twin beds when we book hotel rooms.
What are you, Lucy and Desi?
Dude, we're sleeping. Why do I have to be next to somebody when I sleep? What is the purpose of that? We use the one
It's
bed
a
when
bond.
one bed needs to be used. There's no bond in
Yeah,
sleeping.
there's a bond with being
There's
in the
no
same
bond
bed
in
with somebody.
sleeping. What are you talking about? There's no bond in sleeping. There's bond when you wake up in the morning. You might want to bond a little bit. There's no bond in
You
sleeping.
bonded out.
And, right, you bond it out. And we still might do that. I wake up, take a shower, go wake her up in bed, hang out, and we have mornings in bed. It's great. But there's no reason to have to sleep next to somebody.
You got a 40?
I already run hot.
Oh.
Like right now, I'm on fire. My body temperature's got to be like huge. I could sense your body heat just sitting next to you.
Well, he is very bulky right now.
I actually do have a lot of body heat.
Yeah, I told everybody that he can't unbutton his pants while he's sitting next to me, right? Because that's how he had it in the studio earlier.
Yeah, it was
because
this
you're
morning,
getting
yes.
so fat. But
You probably didn't eat lunch when you told him that.
No, I ate lunch and I had a slice of pizza
But
here.
I don't know. I mean, are you married? No. I mean, I have a couple older friends in their 50s and 60s, and they say, yeah, I sleep in the attic or whatever. I don't sleep in the bed. So I don't think it's.
He
I
probably
don't
thought
think
you were
it's,
60 years old, that's why.
I don't think it's as uncommon as you think. You know, after 10, 15 years, why do I gotta sleep next
It's
to
not uncommon to you because
it's not
you do it.
uncommon because I know multiple people who do it. That's why I never base anything on being common or uncommon because I'm the only person that does it. But you just got married, man. You're still wet behind the ears. What do you know about marriage yet?
No, you're right. But to me, that would be a sign that something's not right if we're not sleeping in the same.
I think something's actually perfect if you guys are mature enough to realize it's not sleeping in the same bed constitutes a good marriage. I think you've actually evolved to become smarter couple.
I don't like sheets. My wife sleeps with sheets. I don't sleep with sheets.
You know what's funny is?
Got the fan on high.
But you don't sleep with the sheets on you.
100%.
Right. I can't sleep with like covers and comforters. Like my wife likes to load them up.
Yeah.
But I have to have a sheet. But even if it's like thrown over me,
On
I
your
just
toe.
gotta something right. I gotta have it on me.
Yeah.
Even, but I'm the same way you look because I get the fan. And I want to
Yeah.
be cool. So. Yeah, why should we sleep uncomfortably? I like it freezing cold. I don't want sheets. I don't want body heat. It's ridiculous.
Chrissy, how long have you been married?
Why are you going to ask me that?
You.
I don't know. Is it a secret?
No.
No, he doesn't remember.
we got married November 27, 2011.
Okay.
Oh, he knows it to the day.
So-
Because people were like, or November 17th, I apologize. My daughter was born on 27th. My kid was born on 28th. My kids are exactly 3 years and 1 day apart.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So I kind of try to tie everything in together.
You do got it systematically.
But it kind of fucked up because
planned out.
I have a big backyard and I always want to have big backyard barbecues for kids' birthday parties. But now I got to run a building because it's in the middle of November in Northwest
Cold.
Indiana and
Yep.
Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, and one family functions, cousins only, is about 90 people in my family. So it's
We were talking about that earlier, how we're all cousins,
yeah. You're Macedonia, we're cousins.
right? We're all cousins.
Exactly.
So I want to talk to you now. Are you done with the fascination of the CBD? Can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling great. Listen, man, I'm good.
I want to talk to you a little bit about, because it affects a guy like you, right? And we talked about it a little bit last week about what's coming up with the trade show. Now, you've had 3 trade shows now. You can be frank, you cannot be frank. Sometimes not everybody will always be frank about this question when I
Pretty
ask
fucking
them.
frank.
Pretty fucking frank.
Hi, Frank. How are you?
How have the last 3 trade shows been for you as a boutique company? Now, I'm imagining you got, what, 2 booths?
This is the first year I had a double booth.
Okay, so you even had 1 booth prior to this year.
Correct.
So you are the small company there.
Yeah.
How have the trade shows been for you?
Good. Double, triple my numbers every year.
Right. So good turnout.
Correct.
And especially for you because you have relatively a less amount of cost comparatively to everybody
I
else.
mean,
going
it's
there.
still a cost.
It's an amazingly
It's a massive cost.
It's still an amazingly stupid cost.
Yeah.
But comparatively, it's a lot less than a lot of these guys who got 20, 30, 40 booths.
Yeah, I was telling the guys, first time coming in that were working for me, I was like, look, you know what this cost me.
Right.
Imagine what it cost him.
Right.
Times 20, times 30.
Yeah.
Just like, so last year it cost like, for me, it was like $1,700 to bring my stuff to show floor. And then this
Give
year,
it a
I'm
shot.
like, I'm scaling back. And it cost me $400 because last year I brought all boxes. And it's the weight of the boxes.
Right. It's all,
It's
tonnage.
union labor. I mean, I love the union, but to go
Especially as a
display-
government guy, you gotta love the union,
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
You have to fly the flag.
I don't need a big rat in front of my house. So,
But at some point, guys like Saka are talking about he had a carpet and he has a really small booth.
it's ridiculous.
He said it was $6,000 to have that carpet.
my booth, a
Just so
10
you
by
know,
20.
he would have complained the exact same amount if it was $60.
Yeah, I'm
Just
sure
so
he
you
would,
know.
but
Let's just be clear about that.
$6,000 is a lot of money for a carpet.
Absolutely is, but it would have been an equal amount of complaining if it was
Imagine
60.
vacuuming it. My
And-
booth, if I wanted vacuum every night, was $200 a night. Not to clean the ashtrays, just to vacuum it.
Wow.
I didn't pay that.
No.
I would have bought a brand new Dyson and returned it.
It's absurd.
Exactly.
Right. It's absurd. It's an absurd cost, but so far it's been economically sound for you to go every year.
Yes.
So, what is your take on the Consumer Day?
It's not built for it.
That's a given.
It is not built for it. You know
It's-
what?
that's
I
a
love
given.
consumers to death, but on the last day, the show would have been better. Logistically, after business is done, yes. But on the first day, if you want to do an event for consumers. It is not structured the same way how it is right now at IPCPR. The traffic's not going to work. You know,
The logistics are awful.
4,500 people. Let's say 4,500 people come in 8-hour span. They leaves
Not
you
even 8 hour span. They got a 6 hour span.
So that leaves you about 3.5 seconds per person. What are you going to gain as a consumer
Nothing.
talking to me for 3.5 seconds?
So that's what I'm saying. So you don't think it's a positive thing?
I'm not saying it's. I'm an IT guy. I'm going to wait till to see what the end result is to see if it was a good thing or a bad thing.
Right. That's what a lot of guys are saying.
I honestly think. I mean, I'm going to TPE. You know, I'm going full throttle TP in January, and I honestly think. Sorry about that.
That's
I like
all right.
I like to steal shit.
Keep
sometimes.
taking my lighter.
Yes,
God.
please stop taking it. And yes, let's
I think
make that small sound.
this is putting it out there. It's like I'm gonna say 2021 will be the last year IPCPR or PAC.
I think I said the same thing. Were we talking together? Or was it?
No.
I think by 20. My prediction would be this. If anything, I see happening here because. And everybody's got to understand if you didn't catch last week's show with Dave Garofalo and you're tuning in, you should catch that show because we really got into this topic in depth. But you know, the trade show's in trouble, and I think this event that they're trying to do, because everybody thinks I'm anti the event or anti-consumer.
They're raising money. It's for the lawsuit.
I understand, but you want to know if you're going to do that event, then make that event.
Yes, do it separate.
Just make that event. Go get a venue that's made for that event. Throw a kick-ass event and make a cigar event and raise money for lobbying, right? But to piggyback and to hodgepodge an event and to try to push a square peg in a round, circle, it's not going to work. No. It's going to fail. And I think by 2022. The TPA.
TP will take over.
I think they'll acquire the IPCPR. It'll be merged.
I can see
There'll be one big show for both mass market and C stores.
Yeah, that's how it is in Dortmund. It works perfect.
And premium, and I think that's what will happen. Yeah, I believe that's what will happen by 2022.
It works perfect because there's one dedicated building for cigars, and if there's more brands at the cigar in Dortmund, it's half of the vape booth. But it's 7 halls, 1.2 is cigars, the rest is cigarettes and vape.
Right. And the other thing is, you even have designated areas of this is where you have your premium cigars, this is where you have your cigarette, this is where you have everything else.
It's organized properly.
And if you just have an organized set of places where, okay, this is where I know I have to go for this, and I have to go for this, and not to mention in Dortmont, also much smaller booth space, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
which I also think is
cheaper for me to go to Germany for a month than to go to Vegas
for
5 days.
That's insane.
Well, I've said for years part of the problem with the IPCPR is they basically, out of greed, will just let people have as many booths as they want. Yep. And the show floor in the last decade has constantly expanded as attendance has decreased. Well, you know what that means? It just looks deader and deader and deader every year.
Bigger cost of
I'm not kidding you. The last time I went, which was what, 3 years ago?
Vegas in 16.
Okay, 3 years ago, last time I went. I swear,
that's the last time I saw you in person.
I could throw a bowling ball down and run the whole length of an aisle, and I may have not been able to hit anybody.
Imagine what you could have did this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's how it was 3 years ago.
Even if we go back to 15 when it was in New Orleans,
right?
That was a massive space,
right,
which was completely expanded, and I could have never run into anyone if I didn't want to.
Right.
Because there was just so much walking space.
Except people looking to sell you product, they'll find you in the cracks.
100%.
Well, that's why
you can't hide from those guys. They'll find you anywhere.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Yes.
But I mean, seriously, it's gotten so big. And I remember my first trade show, which I wasn't even in the retail side of the business yet. I was wholesaling in Chicago. I went to Miami. No, not Miami. Orlando. It was in the Marriott at Orlando in '95, and they had 2 halls. So you came down the hallway, and there was a hall A on the right, hall A on the left. That's how big the show was. It was shoulder to shoulder people. I mean, literally, I'm not kidding you. Shoulder.
The old magazines were showing it.
Shoulder to shoulder people.
And that's the height of the boom too.
You couldn't talk. It was the beginning of the boom. The height was about '97.
Yeah.
You couldn't talk to people, and the games of I remember Ashton. Right, I was going to talk to Ashton, or somebody I knew was talking to Ashton because I wasn't a retailer yet. But basically, Ashton's shtick was at the time, well, we don't have cigars to sell you, but if you pick up our accessories now, and whatever, we'll eventually open you up. That's the kind of games. That's the kind of games that were played in 1995 and 96, probably in most of '97. So, yeah, can you imagine Ashton not wanting to sell somebody cigars? They had to take on the accessories, so they had to buy their leather cases and their
humidors
and their tchotchkes, and then hopefully eventually they would
Maybe you'll
open
get a
you up.
chance.
In
Yeah.
6 months, we'll have cigars we can give to you. Yeah.
And it's totally different booths over there. You don't have a 5,000 square foot Gurkha booth.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that way. I think that hurts the show.
It does.
You know, it takes me longer. It takes me 8 times to get around to anything. It takes 8 times longer to get around and do any business. And for what? So people can show their awesome egos of their 80, 90, 120 booth space expo, right?
Look at this massive
Until you
arch
see the
we've
invoice.
built here and all these things we have.
But
And
you
this
want-
giant thing with cigars in it you can't get into that we have random people go into and randomly
But you
pick
want to know
stuff out of.
you want to know what's funny is? These guys who do these 100, 120 booths, whatever it is, these mega complexes, right? They're all proud and pride, but you know what I see every time I look at it? Empty.
Yep.
Because I don't care if you got 100 people in that booth. It looks empty.
It does.
It's just a vast space. You could put 50 people in there at once, and it looks empty. I see nothing but carpet everywhere.
Yeah.
We say the exact same thing all the time about the current location we're in, because if you go back to the old West Palm space,
Right.
if you had the exact same number of people that are
Right.
here right now in our old West Palm space, guess what? It's
Right.
standing room
Right.
only.
Right.
But right now, guess what? There's plenty of people. There's still plenty of chairs.
Right.
that
We,
people
yeah,
don't get.
it's like we had so many people. There's no way we had so many people. The place looked dead, but this place is so much bigger than our old place. We don't
Yeah.
realize it. Sometimes it took us a while to learn that
Yeah.
curve. But it's okay. I appreciate those awesome mega booths.
Yeah.
Because that's where I go to let my feet rest when I walk. Because they got the 8-inch
They got the nice
plush
chairs,
foam
the
carpeting
plush
where you know
6-inch
you,
padding.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I
They
go
got
to
the extra
rest.
padding in there. Oh,
So-
yeah, you can
Expensive,
totally
man.
feel it.
If it wasn't for them, we'd have nowhere comfortable to walk and rest.
Thank
so
you guys
thank
with
you
extra
guys.
padding under your carpeting. We appreciate it, yeah.
And also, anyone in here that buys a cigar to your humidor, I'll give them a JSK.
There he goes. Riste's giving out JSK cigars to anybody who makes a purchase here today. So
There you go.
And
Any
good
cigar from
cigars.
the humidor.
So what do you have? Now with everything going on with FDA, and it's a common question, right? I mean, what I've kind of noticed with FDA, everybody was really nervous in the beginning. Nobody would talk about
Everyone
it.
made it as the Black
Right.
Friday for the cigar industry.
Now they come in my show and they talk about, oh yeah, I was just working on a blend last night, right? They're saying on public. Are you moving forward and making new stuff? And
Yeah, I got stuff developing for other countries. I got,
For other
I got,
countries.
I got. So like with the Asia market I'm in, they can't import the CBD cigar, but they really love the Nug blend.
so you're making a nug without the CBD.
correct for the Asia market.
Really?
Wow.
Now, what do you feel is the
I'd like to get one of those.
I'll send it.
I mean, I would just like to smoke it,
Yeah.
to taste it versus the nug.
Yeah,
I mean, now you got my curiosity piqued.
I did. I gave it to. Her name is Cigar Duchess on Instagram. She was at the house in Vegas. She's a reviewer. She writes awesome reviews. You can tell she puts everything in it.
Right.
And I was like, listen, here's the exact same 3 cigars because I also had my THC cigar, which
We didn't talk about that. Now you make a nug THC,
yes, I make one that's THC infused, 20 milligrams.
and that's sold only in Colorado.
It cannot be sold just yet because different states that are legal have different requirements for shops. Like they just passed in Colorado. A marijuana store that sells marijuana cannot sell tobacco,
Oh, really?
and vice versa.
Really?
Unless you have a standing room only. Or building.
Now I'm
So
curious.
that legality changes like weekly in that industry.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I'm curious is how do you ship a THC cigar across state lines?
I don't.
So how do you get? You got to make it in Colorado.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Got to make it in Colorado.
Yes.
All right.
So some states that it is legal in, I have labs through my partner on the CBD side where we know we can get it made and only sold in that state.
Now what are you smoking? 'Cause
So this cigar is for Sweden. This is a barber pole toothpick. So funny story about this cigar. I was in Bonita Springs about 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Is it the same owner? Did he finally sell? I know he was trying to sell his business.
Where?
But talking about Bonita Springs Smoke Shop?
No. I was with
Oh.
I was
Oh, okay.
my Sweden importer was going to
You were just in the town of Bonita Springs. Okay.
Yeah, he called me. He's like, I was with another manufacturer. I got invited down because they buy cigars. I was at Rocky Patel's house.
Okay.
And we were on a boat. I'm going on it was a good time. Great
Gotta
time.
go on Rocky's boat if you're in. Yeah.
Another guy who likes to cook.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And my importer from Sweden called me. He's like, listen, we're coming back from Dominican. It's my birthday. It would be awesome if you flew down, hung out. So, like, fuck yeah. Why wouldn't I come down, drink with a bunch of Viking Swedes? You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
It's gonna be a fun group to drink with.
Oh, it's phenomenal. There's no
So,
sleep involved.
what are they drinking as their preferred beverage? I have to ask, just out of curiosity.
Everything.
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 Just everything.
Alcohol.
Just everything alcohol. I figured they'd be like big beer or just like
Everything.
big vodka.
Like the guys that was from Finland that was there in the group, anything on the table. If there's a bottle of vodka, he'll drink the vodka and go back.
When it was
Okay.
done, he'd go right to the next one.
Next one.
That's
next
funny.
one.
Our babysitter right now for the baby.
She's drinking?
She's from Finland.
She's drinking?
She does like
Oh.
to drink from time to time.
Okay.
They had Mirko, who runs the slow cigar smoking competition. They were having it in Sweden, in Helsingborg, at my importer's main shop. And he goes, it'd be awesome if you sponsor the event. I was like, how would I make a cigar for that event? And this was where the barbecue toothpick.
Really?
Yeah, we were fucking hammered drinking. And Pierre is like, hey, mate, it'd be awesome if you combine both of them. I was like, let me call the factory. And shit.
Do you mind if I see it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hold it up for the camera to see.
So
Because
it's
it
both-
is an interesting looking cigar for sure.
So it's both wrappers on the same toothpick filler binder, but it's both wrappers. So that cigar is only available in Sweden right now, but it will eventually come out in the U.S. It was available to pre-order, but it wasn't on my sheet at the show, but it was in every sample bag I gave out.
Huh.
This one specifically.
Yes.
All right, interesting.
And the price point on this would be like $6.50 on the shelf.
What's the name?
Toothpick 2.0.
Toothpick. And would it, in Sweden, do you translate it for them, or no? They just call
No.
it toothpick.
Toothpick 2.0.
Okay.
I don't know what it translates. I have no clue.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
So, okay, now we've talked a lot about how you started out getting very big into the European market. Would you say you're still selling more in Europe or now more in the U.S. now at this current state?
In the current state, with the Tyrannical coming out and the Nugs coming out, U.S. is. I am selling more cigars in the U.S. at this point.
Gotcha.
It was it shift back and forth 60-40, 40-60.
Okay.
But with Nugs where I can't export out of the U.S. because that cigar has to be made in the U.S.
Right.
And if you export out of the U.S., it's an extra like 14% on top of exports to another country.
And it's just going to totally destroy that.
Yeah, and plus you're paying the S chip on it, so the price of the cigar it goes up.
Once you get it into the country before you even put the CBD in it, then
Yeah.
everything else is going out.
Yeah, because if I ship outside of the factory, I'm saving the S chip,
Yeah.
and I can work with better numbers and margins
Right.
overseas. So
But I want to go back just a little bit now. Like you were saying how the Asian market also has come up, and you made specific cigars just for the Asian market. How did you feel like you got into the Asian market, and where did that develop?
So that was with my designer. He put me in contact with another guy that wanted a cigar, and he was making a band for them. And his name's Matthew. He called me, and we talked. And I'm the dude. I rather face-to-face business,
I'm always that way.
face-to-face.
I like face-to-face.
Like when you guys call me to be on the show, and you want to, hey, can you call on the show? What'd I tell you? I'll fucking fly down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit down and do this.
Yeah, I can't figure out like the Skip Martins who don't like to do face-to-face.
You
Skip
brought him up like
Skip
80
Martin-
times.
Right,
today.
he's got more play than probably Riste today. I apologize.
It's all good. I don't care. He called me. He's like, I'll see you in Vegas. I go, if you're serious, come to my booth. We'll talk. So he flew in from Malaysia just to have a talk to bring in Red Knights to.
I love that.
So right now I'm in Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand.
What is that
And if
market like? Are they big cigar smokers?
Yes,
In Asia?
but they're super expensive because of taxes.
right.
So your clientele is wealth.
Right.
And like right now, if you go to Kuala Lumpur, my cigars are in. He took over the humidor at the Hyatt Hotel. So right now, my cigars are in the Hyatt Hotel, a super high-end Hyatt Hotel in Kuala Lumpur, which is cool to see that because like one lady's smoking my cigar in the valley in Kuala Lumpur, and my cousin a week later was ziplining to the same valley. And I messaged her. I was like, dude, my cigar was just there last week.
That's
Wow.
But I'm doing that with them. I have another country I'm doing. I can't tell specifics yet, but it will be the complete Red Knight line in different sizes, not
Really?
available outside of that country.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So like country exclusives, like
Yeah,
the
like how
Cubans
the,
do.
the limitadas and
Right,
stuff.
right.
So, and I love that stuff. It's just it gets you more at a personal level when you sit down and blend and you discuss. I really would like this size. I'm not the guy that's gonna say no. I don't have that mold. I will call the mold guy and make that mold.
Right.
Which is another interesting question I want to ask. Are you seeing that there are specific sizes that are favorable to the Asian market over like the American or the European market?
Thin ring gauge overseas.
Thin-
My best seller is my Lancero.
They don't do big ring gauges overseas. That's
Yeah.
always been common
because
knowledge.
you grow up over there and you have nothing but Cubans your whole life. So you're growing up, you rarely see a cigar until like 3 years ago when they made the 60 ring gauge Cohiba. Before that, the biggest you would see is like a 52.
Yeah.
So you grew up on 38s, 33s, 42s, 40s, 44s, 46s, 47s.
So 60 ring gauge is gigantic. I mean,
Yeah.
just not.
Which is a ridiculous price for.
Do you still search or try to smoke vintage Cuban cigars?
Yeah, I do. It's the hunt. I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's nothing better. Like so
What makes it vintage for you? How old?
minimum 20, 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So one of my whales was the Boulevard Bonita from the 60s that got discontinued like 72 or 73. And literally like 3 months ago, I came across a guy had a 5-pack. I didn't even ask the price. I could put it in, from UK. I go, tell me how much shipping is and just send me the invoice. I don't give a fuck what the price. That's my white whale.
Wow.
I found that, and then I found some over analysis from the 40s and 50s, and
Well,
I have stuff that goes back to the 20s.
and
so
when you smoked it, was it everything you hoped it was?
I haven't smoked it yet.
Ah,
I'm waiting for it. So that cigar I'll probably smoke either on my birthday or my kid's birthday or something. After a nice event with the family where I finally sit back, have a nice scotch or a good bourbon.
Absolutely.
You know, most vintage people that smoke vintage cigars don't understand. This cigar's been sitting in this box for like 50, 60 years. It's going to absorb that cedar. So like the first inch is going to taste cedarish. But once it opens up, you get like great floral notes, nice low like spice. Nothing crazy spice, you know. It's
Well, because it's melded, you know. It's,
Yeah.
it's sat
I tell
for a
people,
while.
you buy a Cuban cigar right now that has spice in it, you bought a Nicaraguan. There's a Nicaraguan leaf in it. No joke. And I'll take that to my
I've heard that. I've heard that Cuba's buying tobacco.
I've stated that before, and I've been kicked out of very Cuban purist groups with, you know, guys that I go back, you know. I'm talking buying and selling boxes at $4,000 or $5,000
I've
a piece.
heard that rumor a few times that Cuba is buying outside tobacco.
This is how I look at it. This is how I explain to my friends.
The size, you're going to go the size of the mathematics, right? Here you go.
This is Cuba.
It's all mathematics,
That leaf cannot grow enough tobacco for this ashtray.
right?
It's impossible.
Right.
Impossible. And it's the number one selling cigar in the world. You know, the next biggest market for non-Cuban cigars is, the biggest is U.S., the next biggest is Germany.
Do you know, I just made a post last night. I can't remember. Can't remember what club it was, but two grown men were having a debate in some cigar club because some guy bought cigars from a guy, and this guy outed him for selling fake cigars, says I got proof, starts posting chat. None of it which was proof. Shows a picture of a cigar that was unraveled in short filler with no proof of what cigar that was. I mean, I couldn't believe two grown men were having this conversation, right?
And those two grown men can never pick out which leaf is in that cigar.
Seriously. So,
Yeah.
my favorite line of it. Ready? The utmost cigar aficionados in Alabama has verified my claim. Yeah, it was some. It was really a funny statement,
Gas
right?
station from Alabama just
So-
told me they were smoking fake Cubans.
But I mean, I made a post. I said, look, for what it's worth, I don't know either of these two guys, right? But you know, when I got in the business 25 years ago, and I've said this before, I know I'm getting off topic, Paul.
No, you're good.
There was a handful of people making good cigars.
Yeah.
Right? Today, there's a handful of people making bad cigars, right? Now, it may not be your taste. It may not be what you like.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are making good cigars. Why, you know, if I travel and I come across a Casa Habano store or whatnot, I will definitely buy some, right? Because I like variety. I want to try different stuff.
Yeah, see what everyone's
But I'm
smoking.
never going to go out of my way or try to buy something third-party-ish because you just don't have to. There's so many good cigars today, and I think if you're going to be one of these guys and you got bought stuff, you just got to suck it up and it's caveat emptor, you know, move on.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean-
don't buy from that guy again if you
Yeah.
think he sells you fakes. But I just don't see. I never had that chase. I had that chase early on, obviously, when I first got into cigar smoking, right? Because anybody who's from the Midwest will remember Coors beer analogy, right? Everybody, you're Indiana, right?
Yeah.
You had, how old are you?
36.
Might be too young to remember, but people
Yeah.
were coming back from the Rockies in station wagons full of Coors beer because you couldn't get it east of the Rockies.
We were doing it with Yinglings until recently.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was that kind of phenomenon. Coors beer is about the lowest of the poll, you know, these days. So,
piss.
you know, so when I first got
Damn
into it, when I first got into the cigar life and cigars, you know, I chased that. I'm sure I bought a couple boxes of fakes along with some real ones as I traveled, but I never have that urge. I mean, I got a room full of stuff that's all made that's got a spectrum from almost anything you could look for. I just don't. I don't get why guys are still doing it. And it's still big. There are guys who swear by it.
Yeah, I mean, it could, because that guy will swear by it because he just spent $3,000 on his box, and the last thing he wants to hear is it's fake or it's bullshit.
It's what I'm saying. Why even attempt it. If you're in an official Casa Habano store
Cuban
and you want
cigars-
to pick up yourself a couple sticks for variety's sake, that's fine. But to go to a hunt where you're buying it off a guy in a street corner in Miami, where it was just made in the warehouse a block away. I mean, why? I just don't get it. And yet a lot of guys are still doing that who enjoy cigars.
The Cuban guys I deal with, or the guys who smoke Cuban cigars I deal with, I say it like this. Cuban cigars never peak in price. They always go up. You will never find a Nicaraguan manufacturer or Dominican manufacturer to make a 50-count humidor, a 6x60, and it sells for 239,000 euros, which was the Cohiba. Just came out the humidor. You will never find it. So the guys I deal with, they don't smoke them. I mean, at one point, I'm buying 30, 40 boxes deep.
It's a collector's game.
And I learned this from a guy in Australia who was a vintage Cuban guy. He's like, mate, that's my 401k. That's my retirement right there. I don't smoke it. I'll buy everything. In 15, I have boxes right now. They're worth maybe like $5,600, $6,000 a box. I'm not going to sell it. If my kid wants to buy a car in 14 years, you want to buy a car, I'll sell one box. That's how I look at Cubans now. That's how I always looked at it. That's the people I dealt with. But I mean, I also love smoking them. I got used to that profile. But in my opinion, after 2008, construction quality went down big time. I don't buy anything after 2008.
Okay, so
I have no box codes after 2008.
Okay. Wow.
So if you're in Europe, when you go to Europe and there's a Casa Habano store, you don't buy any just to smoke for that moment.
I walk inside, the cigar nerd comes out of me. I start searching like I'll spend hours looking for something.
But I'm not saying searching for something old. I mean, just something to just smoke, right? Like
No.
Okay. Well,
There's
that's
nothing
the
on the
point.
shelf that pleases
That's the point I was kind of getting to, right?
me. Yeah,
I don't
and
understand
people are
these-
probably going to say, blasphemy, asshole, you smoke Cubans all the time, but
Right.
I smoke old shit.
Right.
That's just how I look at it. And especially with social media, how social media is right now, like the cigar industry is going through another boom, how it went in the Cuban market went in a boom from like end of 98 to 2000. They could not make enough cigars. Now everyone's on social media, everyone's smoking, everyone's reviewing, It's getting to the point where, Nicaragua is exporting the most cigars into the United States right now.
Yep.
Which was, Dominican was king for that forever. Mm-hmm. But so many people are smoking cigars now, more sociable. So in my opinion, I think the cigar industry is going through another boom, but, worse timing with the FDA. So.
Okay, so now can I get into moonshine?
Yeah.
You can get into moonshine.
Okay, fine. We can get into moonshine. All right.
We don't have any for you, but
I know
If
it's
I knew, I would
important.
have sent some.
It's okay. You can send it with the order when it comes in. Just throwing it out there. So, pot or column still?
Pot still, 10 gallon.
10-gallon
Pure
pot
copper.
still. Really?
Yeah, 10 gallon.
Now,
pot
did
still. I
you?
tripled
Yeah,
the
obviously
still.
you're a purist, so you definitely built this yourself.
My father-in-law had it built in Macedonia and
Really?
shipped the bottom through UPS from Macedonia, and the head was his carry-on the plane.
You have got to be kidding
Come
me.
on.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, so your father-in-law had it built.
Yeah.
Did he-
Single
did you-
piece of copper too.
Did you inherit it from him? Or
Yes.
did he use it
So
first?
he was getting to the point, I'm always helping him make it. We'll make it at his house and I'll take it to my house.
Okay, well, let's back up just before that now. Was he, did he come here from Macedonia
Yes.
originally?
In
Was he
95.
Was he moonshining in Macedonia before he came to the U.S.?
It goes lineages.
Really?
Illegal moonshining.
Well, see, over there in Europe, you ate what you grow,
Yep.
and you make alcohol what's abundant in fruit.
Now, was he selling to just
No.
passing on to hey, or
No,
no
alcohol's expensive.
sharing?
No, you come to my house, you're going to drink something I made.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have something from the garden, and you'll have a cigar I made too. So that analogy comes from Macedonia. It says if you're a king of your home, if someone can come to your home in the village and you can give them smoked meats from the cow you just killed in the backyard, or the lamb, and you make a salad from the garden that morning. My old man and my father-in-law was like, you do all that already, with alcohol, with the garden, the food, But
You have livestock in your compound?
at my parents' house.
Really?
Yeah, we got 10 acres over there. I got probably
Wow.
14 sheep, and probably 500 pigeons.
Come on.
500 pigeons.
So my dad is like a badass pigeon collector.
pigeon collector.
People drive all over the U.S. to buy pigeons for my dad.
Are they carrier pigeons?
Yeah,
or-
so how he trains them,
so they're carrier pigeons.
they're homing pigeons. They know exactly how to get back home, no matter where you throw them out of the car. My dad would drive 400 miles on the highway, No joke. Throw a pigeon right out, and he'll call me. He's like, "Hey, Riste is." He goes, "Is there a bird on the back?" I was like, "Nah, there's nothing on the coop." Call me about an hour later. He's like, "Is there a bird back there?" He's like, "There's two." He goes, "All right, made it back." He'll go to Detroit from Chicago.
And the purpose of this is what?
Training him.
I know, but what do you use it for once a bird knows how to get back to where you got?
People pay big money.
Does he race them, or he just sells them to people?
Racing
that race
pigeons is a whole different category. You're talking 6 figures for one bird.
Yeah, no, I've heard that.
Okay,
yeah.
hold on.
Back
hold
the
on.
truck up. Back the fucking
Hold on,
truck up.
hold
Okay.
on, hold on.
I'm not feeding you bullshit. Trust me.
No,
you
that's
come to
true.
my house. I'll have my dad.
How
bust
do
out
they
pigeons.
race pigeons? Is there like an air track?
No,
So
they race them when they get to the point.
Yes. So everyone who has homing pigeons will get to a certain point, and they have to first pigeon back to start or wherever they left. So you can go 600 miles out. First pigeon back wins.
Okay, but are all the pigeons coming back to the same spot?
Yes.
How do they train them to come
Months
back?
and months of training.
So if there's a pigeon race, they're all working that same location.
Yeah. Just how the cigar industry talks to other manufacturers, talk to each other in the cigar industry, pigeon guys talk to other pigeon guys.
And these pigeons are $100,000.
Thousands of
plus?
dollars.
The racing ones are.
Are.
The racing ones. I've seen my dad sell
Now-
birds for 700, 800
okay.
bucks a bird all day.
I understand.
I
but
feel like the most expensive
I'm
one was
buying-
just sold like 8 months ago for like 120,000,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Chinese
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. Yeah, Chinese guy bought it. Yeah.
It's like,
I
how
read
the
that
fuck do you
story.
know this?
I love that Adam knows this.
yeah. So
I saw it randomly in a newspaper.
Joe's met my old man.
I just want to understand this now. Now you guys got me on a tangent. So the guy who's buying the $120,000 pigeon, is it strictly for gambling? What's he doing with a $120,000 pigeon?
So sometimes people will come and buy a bird for my dad, and they won't pay him until they go back home and it flies back to our house, just to know the bird's trained.
What if the guy just takes the bird and never comes back?
That's his problem, because the pigeon always come back the first time. And if you don't pay, you sell another bird that looks the same just like it.
That's funny. So wait, I get a question though.
I have so many questions right now.
Is the purpose solely for gambling? Are they making
You go to
racing
horses.
pigeons?
You watch horses just to look at them.
Okay, so it's a gambling thing.
Yeah, it's a big event overseas.
Okay, is it legal gambling?
In certain countries, it is.
Okay.
But they do it here.
But
too,
your dad
don't
is
they?
doing it here.
He's raising pigeons here.
But he's not racing pigeons.
He's not racing pigeons.
He's
Okay,
not
he's
racing.
a homing pigeon.
Homing
Okay,
pigeon.
so now, the guy who would come and buy a homing pigeon from your dad,
Yeah.
what's he taking that homing pigeon home to do?
So it's just like.
Is it like I lost my car keys,
No,
bring them back to
it's-
me? I mean, what's
it's
a
why we
homing
s-
pigeon do?
Why we smoke cigars and enjoy it. Like my dad will go out, he'll spend 2 hours just with the birds, and there's certain birds that will go so high you do not see them with the naked eye.
So it's strictly hobby, no function.
Yeah, hobby.
No function.
No function.
There's no functionality of a
that's what
homing
my dad
pigeon.
working at the steel mill all day. That was his little Macedonia in the backyard.
You guys aren't sending messages back and forth. Lunch is ready. No.
But there has been some that hit the house window, like we're watching TV, and then now we got pigeon soup the next day.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, so
my
this
How,
is a,
how is pigeon soup? Is it okay?
Good, it's delicious.
You got to add a little garlic or anything? Or?
No, buttery,
Okay.
a little buttery.
Okay.
this was a thing when I was growing up. Like a lot of Italian families had pigeons. So I grew up on Long Island. But a lot of people
For
in
what?
Brooklyn and Queens. Listen,
me.
man, our neighbor across the street
All they do is
had
crap.
a coop and had hundreds and hundreds of pigeons there. And he used to have people coming in and out. I guess he was selling them too. I don't know.
And the ones that
But-
suck, you break the neck, you put in a pot.
Yeah, they used to eat them for sure. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I did not even know you
If
could eat pigeon.
you want pigeon soup, I'll make you pigeon soup.
I
don't know.
I'm going to pass.
You gotta always try it once. Come on, you try it. I'm sure it's delicious.
It sounds okay.
All of a
right.
sudden, I have the urge to go home. I can just see myself finishing dinner. I gotta go home.
Would that help my direction?
gotta go home.
I have bad direction. Maybe that'll help me.
You do need help.
Wow.
That's for sure.
That's something.
So anyway, we got off the whole.
Oh, we got on a tangent.
We got on a
Yeah,
tangent.
we got on a tangent.
We got on a tangent. We got up the moonshine. So your father-in-law brought in this still from Macedonia in full copper. How often are you guys using it?
Once a year.
Once a year. That's it.
How much do you make?
End product, triple pot still would come out to 10, 11 gallons. Out of 1,000 pounds of grapes we crush to put in a 59-gallon barrel, out of 1,000 pounds of grape triple distilled, it comes out about 10.5 to 11 gallons.
Does that last you a year?
Oh, yeah, because it comes out like 186, 187 proof.
Yeah, you ain't drinking a lot of it.
But see,
But are
I dumb it down with distilled water because
All right, that was-
now
yeah.
it brings out the floral notes the fruit notes, everything.
Do you do other things with it? Do you make a little apple pie shine? Anything else? You just creative
I'll tell you the
things?
biggest lie in the whole apple pie shine.
Whoa, all right, go ahead. Because I watched that TV show,
yeah.
Moonshine.
Yeah.
KMA Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We're watching Moonshiners, and my father-in-law was like, what the fuck is that middle tank they're using for? The thumper tank. We don't have a thumper tank. To make real apple pie moonshine, it takes over 3 to 4 years for those apples to properly ferment in a barrel.
Wow.
So you get the flavor notes. But I don't use turbo yeast. Mine is 1,000 pounds of grapes. I crush it, juice it, put in a barrel. My leftover product is raw crushed grapes. And I have my own varietal in that. I have certain, 45 pounds of this grape, 35 pounds of this grape, 150 pounds of this grape, and 6 gallons of juice of this grape, because it's cost effective to buy a 6-gallon pill of juice versus grapes. That sits in an airlock container for 2 to 3 months, naturally ferment with its own sugars. We take it out, and we make 10-gallon batches at a time, which would at that point come out to like maybe 6 batches. And we take it down to 40% alcohol. After 40% is crap. We let it run out, clean it up, we take what we've collected, distill it again, down to 40%. Take what we collected, final distill.
So you're going triple
So-
distilled.
I
on
triple
it.
pot
And
still
so
my
each,
moonshine.
so
Triple
each time
pot
getting rid of the
distilled.
head and the tail.
100%.
Okay.
Because at the very first cup, like I have the measure, so it pours in like a 10-liter cook pot with a glass in it, normal cup.
Yeah.
And once it gets to the top, I check it. So I check every cup that comes out. So when I make moonshine, it starts Friday, and you end up hammered by Sunday. So we do it right. We don't rush it.
You're Adam's new hero.
Oh, absolutely.
Now tell me about this party you throw once a year.
Ristefari.
Who
Yeah, now-
gets invited?
Now, why did you name it Ristefari?
I didn't name it.
And we're seeing a lot of hashtags Ristefari, by the way.
Okay.
On the Facebook.
So
Everybody's
what happened
talking
was
about it.
when I released my cigar in 2015, going on 2016, there's a group of guys, there's 8 guys, some were from West Virginia, some were from Minnesota. And they're like, hey man, we want to come meet you. We want to come hang out for one weekend.
Well, yeah, obviously, I want to come hang out with you next weekend.
Strangers.
Yes, Facebook guys I've never met in person.
Right. And
So I go to my wife, I was like, these guys want to fucking hang out with me. She's like, for what?
And you let them come.
So we had a central meeting point in a cigar shop,
Got it. Okay.
and they showed up, and it was a great time. We ended up going to Sam's place in Countryside.
Okay.
He took care of us. I brought some people in. And guys from Minnesota at that time were like 98% tax on tobacco.
Yeah.
So they're seeing stuff that they've never seen.
Illinois is not that great either.
Yeah, but I mean, 28 versus 98.
Right. I mean,
And,
28 still.
So these guys had a phenomenal time, and I told them, this is all I do in the weekend. I drink, I smoke, and I go to church on Sundays. And they're like, well, we'll leave on Sunday. I was like, well, when I go to church on Sunday, I go to my favorite barbecue spot with my family. So that's my church on Sundays.
Oh, it's not real church.
No,
the barbecue.
the barbecue
Got
church.
it.
is my
Oh.
church. So the guys-
So they stayed.
So they stay.
They stayed.
Last day we had barbecue, and there's a donut shop down the street. We had donuts. They smoked a cigar and left. They had such a great time. They're like, we want to do this again, same weekend, because some of the guys do traveling baseball with their kids, and after that weekend,
Same weekend the next year.
it's always March 9th weekend. And no matter what the weather is, people show up. But 2 years ago there's snow. This year was windy, cold.
How many people?
Oh fuck, man! I had over 200 people this year.
Now,
80% are out of town.
are these people that you've personally invited, or they just start showing
Show
up? So you don't even need an invitation.
Nope.
And when they
It
get,
costs nothing. The first year I did it, well, the first year was small, 9 guys. Then we went to like 115, 120 people. Then it just like blew up.
and they're not staying in tents on your compound or anything.
No. I mean, if it was the summertime, I could house everyone on my property. Like, I
Wow.
could set up, RVs and stuff like that. Like my brother owns one of the most successful rental party chairs, stuff like that. So I mean, I've had ideas to have, like certain people on Facebook have beef with each other. So I was
Right.
going to put up sumo suits in the backyard.
Oh,
and have,
that's hilarious.
Saying stuff like that. Put the dunk tank on, stuff like that. But
Absolutely.
it's too cold. I tell the shop.
Now this party's at your compound.
No, this is at my local shop.
Oh, so they hold 200 people? Your local shop?
I bring in tents, everything.
Okay.
The shop cannot hold 200
I was
people.
gonna say.
I tell the shop, whatever your best is, I'm going to fucking crush that record. And the very first, last year when I had it at Golden Leaf, end of the event, the guy's like, here's keys to my store, you can do whatever the fuck you want. This place is, your place is just as much as mine. I had people flying, Germany, people driving from Texas, Florida, California, every state shows up. It's one giant herb. People that love booze, cigars, finally get to sit down and just. You make beer. This guy makes beer. You trade off. You finally meet in person.
Right. It's what
It's
the
free.
lifestyle's about. Yeah.
My whole family prepares for 2 weeks for this event. My mom, my mother-in-law, my sister,
It's a one-day
or
event.
my wife and her. It's so the pre-herf is another shop. The main event is Saturday from 9 a.m. till we get kicked out, which is 2, 3, or until the last body's standing. Because by 1 o'clock, there's dead bodies. I mean, people are puking outside at noon.
That would be Paul.
I have my cousin will make beer. I have my own IPAs made. I have my own stouts. So like last year, it was Madagascar vanilla bean bourbon barrel aged stout.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I mean, I do random shit. The Solomon, I released a Solomon in the first year was a Red Knight Solomon. Second year was the Zlatno Sonce Solomon. This year was a Cernanak Solomon. So next year I might be doing either a Barber Pole Solomon, or I might do like a one-day exclusive only, like something crazy, like a 200 milligram Solomon dog.
Wow.
And it's free. I tell people, support the shop. You can buy any stick in the place. I don't care if it's my stuff or not. But if you want to win prizes, you only get tickets if you buy my stuff.
Fair enough.
But I tell just support. You can buy 5 Perdomos, and you can still come eat for free, chill, hang out. I don't care.
And you provide all the food
All
and
the food.
everything.
I fly in Wagyu briskets, Japanese black pig
I'm sorry, what now?
Wagyu. Come up, set up.
Can you handle this one?
Paul,
I
please.
know the High Clare Castle is a little too much for you. Can you handle
Actually,
this
I
one?
did talk about the High Clare Castle this week with Nick. Yeah, this would be awesome. When it's March 9th.
It's
we got
after
plenty
the
of
Great
time.
Smoke.
We got.
It's a month after.
It's after. We're free.
All right, so we could do it.
People
Yeah.
show up an hour before the shop's open, just so they know they have a seat. Because it turns into it opens at 9:05. It's standing room.
Well, we'll have seats at the table.
I know.
If you bring them, yeah.
Yeah, well, we got.
We travel with all this, everything
Yeah.
that's here.
So like this year I did. So I called my Sweden importer. I was like, listen, I want that fermented fish in a can, like the
Oh yeah, what is that? It's the nastiest
Fucking
thing
crap.
ever.
Fucking
What's it
crap.
called?
Is it the shark? Is it
No.
shark?
It's
no.
disgusting. I want to meet the guy who invented that back
But
in
there
the
are
day.
people who love that.
It's a delicacy over there.
Oh, yeah.
But there's directions. You have to take the can, put it in a bucket of water, and open the can under the water. Let it sit for like 15, 20 minutes to kill the smell.
Oh God.
I cracked so the deal was my German importer, like he played a trick on everyone. I didn't even know what was going on, but I know he has the money. And he told, I'll give anyone $100,000 you can. So 2 guys, it took 15, 20 minutes for people in this building to be like, do I really want to eat this can for $100,000? And the 2 guys were like, all right, we'll do it. Dude, I put the can opener in this can.
They couldn't stand the smell.
The fucking juice hit my hand. I almost vomited, like on the guy that was about to eat it. There's a video in my group somewhere. I'm like, oh, it's disgusting. It smells like shit. And I'm like, bullshit, we don't smell nothing. But now it marinated this 20 by 40 foot tent.
Oh no!
I went inside for the whole thing. It was disgusting.
And how
They
long
didn't
did your
eat it,
hands
did they?
Ate the
smell?
whole thing, put it in a fucking cup, and drank the juice. He pulled out 100,000 Zimbabwe dollars.
No.
I paid for a medical bill that day.
That's how people get killed.
Yeah, it came to the point like, dude, you just flew from Germany to fucking hillbilly Hebron, Indiana. We're some country boys out here. We don't play with that shit.
That's one of the best stories I've ever
Oh,
heard.
So
my
there is a
God.
video.
And we've heard
I'm
some
not
great
gonna
stuff.
say names, but my good friend in local town goes up to me. He's like, "What would your friends in Germany do?" He goes, "They'll probably just slap me. We're just friends."
No.
I guess we're best friends now.
Oh, that's classic. I like that.
But it was a good time. It was a phenomenal time. It's.
Oh, I gotta look up that fish. I think I saw the video on it or
disgusting.
something. I saw something that came to my attention.
You will not find a YouTube video of a guy eating the whole thing and swallowing it. I have the only video of 2 guys eating the whole can and then pouring the juice and drinking the red Dixie cup.
We gotta see that. Yeah. I wanna watch
Bring it up. It's somewhere on my page. But I went inside it was going on for about 30 minutes. I walked back outside. Outside of the tent, there's puke everywhere. People vomiting because of the smell. It is disgusting.
I saw some family that they had it, and everybody in the family, everybody in the family were throwing up, and the old dad, or where they opened, he was like eating it on
Loving
toast.
it, right?
And they said that if you let it air out, it's good on like a salty cracker with like a tomato and feta cheese. It's delicious, they say. I go, there's nothing delicious about it.
It can't be.
There's no. No,
Nothing is going to change my mind from that initial
it
horrible
ferments in
smell.
that can until you open it. So that can could sit in a shelf for 5-6 years, and it's still fermenting fish. Hey, Joe will tell you it was utterly disgusting.
For those of you who don't hear, Joel is saying he almost threw up. And
Yeah, there's the video right there.
Yeah, send us that link. Okay, we're gonna have to. We'll post that later on the KMA
post
Talk
it.
Radio Facebook page,
So that event,
so everyone can see somebody vomiting for fun.
that event is 100% free. Come, pay your way. I provide all the food. So my mom, my wife's mom, my wife, her sister, my aunts, my uncles. It's all Macedonian food. It's all homemade sausages. Everything. All the pastries are made in house. My mom starts cooking 4 days before this show.
That sounds awesome.
It's literally homemade food. Like, it is my thank you to my supporters. Come enjoy a meal like you would enjoy it with my family.
2020, Paul.
My dad will sit
March
there and
9th.
talk to guys all day.
Weekend.
Make it happen.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal.
Try to be effective.
I'll see what I
Paul,
can do.
do it. I
Yeah,
just want to drink.
Adam just wants the moonshine.
a little bit. Yeah. Well, not to
Yeah.
mention all the beer.
Oh, we're
Not-
taking Adam? Oh, sorry, forget that.
I'm the driver. What are you talking about?
We're flying.
That is true.
Yeah, but we got to drive to.
Yeah,
the
but we need
event.
a rental car. I'm sure he doesn't live right next to the airport.
Adam
It
is-
sounds like he's kind of like
About an
a
hour.
2 hour away. Okay,
Hour
yeah.
15.
I don't like to drive. I despise driving.
I hate it too.
If we got a 4-hour road trip or even Miami, I make somebody else drive. Adam is the best driver you can have.
Because
Well, we didn't find this out until after he's already driven me, but I've always said for years, he's the best driver. You could sleep like a baby. He doesn't even lane change.
Doesn't
Your
break-
head
break
never
all
does
our-
this, while he's driving. It's one speed, constant, no lane change. And then we find out after the fact that he drove in the presidential
Motorcade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He
Twice.
was driver twice
Twice.
in the presidential
For
motorcade.
for George W.
Now,
Did you get any like Secret Service training or anything like that?
No,
Like, what
not at all.
wait. Now, mind you, we've known him for years.
Never told
He
me.
just brings it up like in a show, like a year
A
and a
year
half
ago,
ago.
yeah.
Like during the show, wait. What did you say?
Oh, yeah, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah, when I
Mr.
drove the
President.
president. When did you drive in a presidential motorcade?
I got
can't-
my mom a shirt and everything.
he
I
can't
got my
find
mom a
he
shirt.
can't find the picture.
My son drove in a presidential motorcade. All I got was this lousy shirt.
And it was a picture of me in front of the presidential motorcade car.
Well, when she comes on the
Limo.
show, she can
No,
show us
she's
the
not
shirt.
going to do that yet. She doesn't have the shirt anymore. It got ruined. You wash it too many times, it fades
Oh,
away.
she was wearing it.
Oh, yeah, she wore it a lot, yeah.
It's a free shirt. I would have worn
She
it.
loved that shirt.
Paul's fascinated with Adam.
He's a fascinating guy.
There's some interesting, weird relationship going on here.
I
They go to Whole Foods and drink at the
No,
bar.
I've
together.
never drank.
I've
at a bar.
invited you, but you never want to
I
go.
don't, know,
not
I don't
gone.
know if you've ever heard the episode, but I talked about one day I was in Whole Foods, which I typically don't like to shop because nothing ever really tastes good, costs twice as much,
Yeah.
and you can never find anything because it's the most illogically laid out store in the universe. And I'm going in it, and I'm realizing myself, oh, there's people sitting at the bar. And-
There's a bar with alcohol.
Wait, not just a bar with alcohol, but it looks to me
a
as
coffee
if-
bar,
Like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something?
Yeah, but it doesn't look to me like, hey, I got groceries, I'm stopping to have a drink. It looks to me like
2 o'clock special.
they came there. They came there to hang out in a Whole Foods, right? So I'm saying to myself, is that not bizarre? So I come on the radio show and I start talking about it. I'm like, if I was going to go out drinking, Whole Foods would never be a place I would think to go sit down and drink.
No,
I said,
ever.
I said, who would go to Whole Foods? And he goes, I do it all the time.
He knows the bartender's
I do
name.
it all the time.
They have a great craft beer
There's
selection.
probably
What-
no wait for a beer there either.
Exactly. No, I just walk in and be like, yeah, I'll take one of those. Take one of those, yeah.
So now,
and he
now
doesn't
him,
shop
and
I
Paul,
never knew
there.
Whole Foods had a bar.
him and Paul have Saturday dates at the Whole
No,
Foods.
I've never
They go to a
gone.
couple beers
Hey,
after
babe,
the
I'm
show.
going shopping for
Don't
carrots.
lie.
I'll be
No,
back.
I've
Don't
never
lie.
met Adam
you
there.
call home, you tell your wife to feed the cat, and then you go meet Adam at
First
Whole
of all,
Foods.
There's so much of a lie in it. I don't have a cat. I've never owned a
He's
cat.
such a cat person. I don't care whether he owns a cat or not.
Yeah.
He's a cat person.
The only time I've ever drank at a Whole Foods bar was when I was shopping with my wife, and I go up there, I grab a pint, and we walk around with the cart. It's awesome that you can drink a beer
I
and
never
shop
knew
at
that,
the same
ever.
time.
I mean, there's really not a Whole Foods by me. Chicago
Well,
probably
you know,
the closest.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
probably
so you
Chicago.
gotta
yeah.
go a
There's a
couple hours
couple.
to get there.
Yeah.
the health movement hasn't hit Indiana yet.
No.
But once the homing pigeons find out,
Right? Right? Holy cow.
Okay, that was good. I gotta get that.
I'm still enamored with the homing pigeons. So what's next for JSK Cigars?
I got country specials coming out. Limitadas. I'm going.
You have a once in a year release that we didn't talk about. is coming up soon, right? A cigar you make once a year.
The Crawlet.
What's it called?
Crawlet.
Okay, what is that cigar about?
Super medium body, ton of flavor. 7 tobaccos, 6 are completely different in it. Very complex. 6.5 by 50. Crawlet means king. Like this is my blend. You know, this
is there a reason why it's once a year, or is it just that's the way you want to make it?
It's once a year because when that cigar came out, I released it when my son was born.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like my dedication to him.
That's like his birthday cigar.
Yeah.
I was seeing if you had one here.
And I do that stuff with Cubans. You know, I do that with when my
we'll be off the show by the time you get back with that box, Casey.
He's got 15 minutes. We got plenty of time.
I do that with Cubans. Like when my daughter was born, I bought Pihikis from the month and the year she was born. My son, same thing. And I do that for a lot of people too, because I have such a reach with vintages. You know, I've had people tell me, like, listen, my wife was born in 1985. I'm gonna ask her old man, let her marry her. I want to smoke a cigar from '85 with the old man. So I would go out and procure that.
We're similar. I do the same things. I got a lot of boxes that I just stored that were given to me on special occasions. When my first child was born, Petra, Carlito gave me a box of Opus that has her name on the band.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
and whatever.
cool.
I haven't opened it yet,
I
but
didn't know that.
at her 18th birthday, her and I will have a cigar every year on her birthday from that box. And I got some that were made for me for my wedding. And I think some guys made me cigars for my second child, and by the third one, they're like, "Oh, hell with it. He's having
Yeah, how many more kids is he
He's
gonna
having
have?
too many kids. We're not giving that guy cigars anymore."
Yeah, I had
He's procreating too much.
Right.
We have to stop.
You have 2 kids?
2 kids.
Chrissy?
Yes.
Okay.
November 27th, November 28th.
Wow.
My daughter will be turning 5, Elena, and my son Stefan will be turning 3.
Best years.
Oh, you're
The
you're
best-
a young guy to have.
The best
2.
years.
Yeah.
We're the same age. I just had my first. And
Good luck, man. Once you start running and
Yeah, he started that this week. It's
Well,
insanity.
Paul's at a disadvantage because Axel's already more intelligent. So he's already outsmarting his dad.
well, I mean, there's 5-year-olds better at computers now than the people I know.
Right.
This is, you know.
So here's the.
Oh, there we go. Hold on, let me get it
Crawl
on
out.
there.
You gotta raise it. Sorry, I'm blocking. I'm
this
blocking
cigar
your
I
face,
really
Rusty.
don't sell a lot to shops. So the cigar you see.
Well, if you don't sell it to shops, who do you sell it to?
I didn't even put on the prices. I didn't even put on the prices.
Hold on. What is the quote on the side there?
There is nothing impossible to him who will try. Alexander the Great.
Macedonian.
Very nice.
Oh,
Wow,
look at
look
this
at
band. Yeah. We gotta
Holy
show this.
cow, that is
So the
beautiful.
cool thing in the crown in that band, my cousin is a sculptor and an artist. And
Really?
If you look in the crown in that band, it's an old Ottoman war with horses and spears. So I try to tell a story in all my bands. So you got to look really close inside the crown.
You know, I'm like legally blind.
Yeah, I'm half deaf.
Let's
too.
see. Yeah, between
I'm just half here.
between the two of us, we're Helen Keller. All right, hang on.
You can write a book.
That was great.
Adam is really laughing today.
So if
I
you
can't
take the
believe
cell
it.
off and look in the crown.
Yeah.
Inside the crown, you see 2 horses with spears in the Ottoman Empire when they're fighting with Alexander the Great.
It is a beautiful band.
Yeah, so he's like, this would be cool if you put on the
Oh,
bands.
is that one of them right there? I see it.
But
I
there's a
see
spear right
it.
there, but if you look in the crown, right in this crown.
Oh yeah. Wow, dude. Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
an
it's
Easter,
all-
that's an Easter egg.
Yeah, and all the icons, mean something to Macedonia. They go back, lineage. So that band is
Very
like,
Camelot-ish looking band.
yeah. And I actually took a poll in my group. I put up 3 designs: gold with white, gold on gold, or gold on red, and gold on white one. So I engage my group.
Those are the people.
Some
those are the
decision,
people you're looking to please.
Yeah.
You know, the
It might be something I'm missing.
Yeah.
Point something out. So.
test group.
And the original 9 guys that show up at Ristefari, I'm still in the original chat. And when I do packaging, any kind of questions, I call that like my group of consigliaries.
Did they get like a special OG patch?
They're OG9, yeah.
Yeah. Do they get is it
Yeah,
OG9?
OG9.
Oh, that's
They
pretty cool.
get anything I make, they're the first ones to get it.
Oh wow.
That's my guarantee. Like anything I make, they're the first ones to get it.
and these
Any
guys
test
were
runs-
just random strangers that reached out of the blue to you.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
That is phenomenal. That
Great
is
story.
amazing. Absolutely. Oh, wow.
Wind it up, man. It was 2 hours, went fast without breaks. I like this format.
It's
Yeah.
way better format, man.
I like it.
I know. We had plenty of stuff
Well,
to talk about.
it doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly.
But we could always cut Paul.
You could.
We wouldn't miss
That's
much.
a 1/10 of the budget.
Right? 1/10 of the budget.
Paul
That's
can
true.
call in.
That's true. Paul can call in.
I'll FaceTime
That's
in
true,
from the
too.
house with the baby
Yeah.
screaming in
So
the
how
background.
many retailers right now do you currently sell to?
That's a question we've had on the Facebook. Where can they
well,
get?
that's what I was going
Yeah.
to get to it. Where can they
So
find
if you go to my website and go into Google, there's a map, and every location has a crown.
Oh, perfect.
So there's 117 stores in the United States, and then I also Sweden,
118 now?
118 plus
Well,
more. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, technically.
we do 121, 123, whatever you want to do.
That's right. I was like, 117, we had 10. That's 100 and actually 27. So, yeah.
U.S., I'm trying to get Canada open. I'm in talks with that. Netherlands, Sweden, Great Britain is going to open up hopefully this year. Germany, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and
One undisclosed
South
country we
Africa.
can't talk about yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And South Africa
And,
also.
and soon to be in Smoking. Our order
Yeah.
ship, what, Monday?
Your order's going out Monday.
There we go.
Back
Yeah.
over here.
See, that's
I'll
what
hold my
happens.
Lanceros back where you wouldn't believe it.
It's okay, but
Somehow I believe that it's going out Monday.
that's what happens when that's what happens when you're not dealing with Juan can't ship. All right. Well, listen, brother.
It's a shame he couldn't call in to apologize.
Oh, if he was sober, he probably would try. He'd be texting right. If he was sober,
I'm
and
surprised we
listening-
haven't gotten text.
Yeah, we'd be texting right now.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I really want to thank you. I know you came in town, do the show, and
Yeah,
sorry about the flop this morning, but
I'm sorry about the flop.
we got a computer built, and it looks like we had a lot of people who still caught the show
Yeah.
and catch it all week on iTunes and Facebook. But it was a great interview, man. Thanks for coming in.
And,
Thank you
and
for having me,
Riste
man.
ran that.
we wish you the best of luck.
He ran the meme contest. He's going to be picking.
Oh,
the
you're
winner.
picking the. Yeah, I'm not picking that winner. I swear, he ran this contest, and my phone notifications were just like
Exploded.
rattling down. I'm like, I even made a post like, "Don't you guys have a job? How can you make meme after meme after meme? And it's only been a 20-minute contest. It was ridiculous. So yeah, you got to pick
Well,
a winner.
they know I send out good shit. I mean, the last guy who won my contest got a box of everything I made.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
So they know I
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were winning hardcore.
Paul kept sending me photos, and he's like, "You don't want to know what people are saying about you on Facebook," which is once again why I'm not on Facebook.
Right?
We don't. One guy said it the best. We don't do middle of the mall shit at JSK.
No, no. And when,
And that was a sales pitch he used at the show. And
No,
closed
he
the couch
didn't.
protection.
Really? We don't do
My other
middle of
rep
the
was
mall
like,
shit.
"Did you just say that to a shop?" He's like, "Yeah, but I opened it."
and what exactly is JS Clowns?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some clowns.
Yeah, some
It's just a whole
clowns.
collection of all JSK. I call them Kralivers. Instead of Kralets, I call them Kralivers. Like, what was the band in the 70s? Why can I not think of it?
We're getting old. It happens at our age.
Yeah. But I call everyone Kralivers, because everyone doubts it until they try it. They really believe in the brand.
No, it's good stuff. And
Yeah.
I've been smoking for the last couple of days. We'll be bringing it in, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, man. Thank
You're on
you.
a plane 8 a.m. tomorrow. Where are you going?
Back home.
Back home.
Beach with the kids.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy that time. This is the best ages you got right now.
Phenomenal time right now, man.
Good. So who's on next week?
Eric Espinoza Jr. will
Oh,
be our
Junior's
guest
on.
next week.
Oh,
we like
okay.
to read the Cigar Insane Asylum, even though we don't have the audio.
Yeah, you know what? Is it a good story? I'll read it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let me see. Do I got a copy of it?
I have a copy right here.
Oh, my
Like-
God. Oh, that was Adam.
Yeah, thanks.
I just saw the caption contest. Holy moly.
Gotta love the Face app.
Look
Yes.
at that one.
Can
That's
we please
scary.
get off the stupid Face app thing?
After this week.
Can this stop being a thing? It's pretty ridiculous.
Wait, look at Casey. He's in shock. He hasn't moved in about 5 seconds. That's a pretty scary photo, isn't it?
So the Face app, it's amazing technology.
That's what we were-
Imagine what they haven't released to the public.
Ain't that the truth?
I've been doing.
Ain't that the because that's like some CIA stuff right there, man. CIA level stuff, like from
150 million people gave up.
What I really want to know is where did you find that photo, Paul?
I can't disclose
You
where
can't
I got that
disclose.
photo.
All right, let me read the Cigar Insane Asylum brought to you by the fine folks of CLE and Asylum Cigars. This week's inductee at least put some effort into being a good dad. A Canadian man has been charged after police say an officer spotted an improperly secured child in his car. While this might seem like a rather mundane yet dangerous event, the plot thickens when police revealed how the child was secured. After pulling over the 22-year-old driver, 22, this is once again my point why they shouldn't be having children,
Don't have children that young.
whose name is being withheld to protect the child's privacy, the police noticed that he failed to secure his 2-year-old passenger as required by law. Instead of using a passenger seat, the father opted to use a case of beer as the booster seat for his child. While it may have kept the child cool on a hot day, this was very much against the law. Congratulations, Beer Dad. You are this week's inductee into the Cigar Insane Asylum, brought to you by CLE and Asylum Cigars.
Fantastic. All right, next week we're going to talk to Eric Espinoza Jr. We'll talk about the FUBAR, what else he's got going on.
Yeah.
Las Seis Provincias, the
Yep.
second.
Oh, yes,
Yep, they
which,
got some nice-
which is a big thing that everyone was talking about from the show.
The dress boxes got delayed because there was a hinge problem. They were getting remade, but they should.
Oh, really? I
Yes,
didn't know that.
Yes, yes.
But all of them are hand painted.
Yes. Yes.
So
and
that's pretty
It's
cool.
a sick-looking box.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yep.
hopefully we'll have one to display for people if we're lucky
Tell
enough.
them to bring it.
I will text him right
Tell
after
him to
we
bring
get
it.
off of this. And I
He
will
has
tell him.
Adam blocked on text, so I'll
I don't
leave that.
blame
He
him.
no longer does.
I don't
I'm
blame-
off
I
the
don't-
block list.
I don't
It was
blame
an
him.
accident that happened. We fixed
An
the
accident.
problem.
He told me
Yes.
he was doing it. How's an accident?
And then he said, "Oh shit, Adam's ordering now. Oh, hold on, let me unblock him." And a week later, Abe's like, "No, Adam doesn't." do the
It's
ordering."
very.
Oh, all right, block.
It's very funny when we took the ordering from Adam and gave it to Matt. How everybody just started blocking his number the week after.
Obviously. Because I want to call people all the time because that's what I do. Yes.
All right. Until next week, we're hoping
And
we'll
as
have
always,
a show with
yes.
no breakdowns.
Yes, hopefully everything will be working fine. And as always, until next week, and as always, keep it lit.